と呼ばれた青春だった。力の限りの青春だった。時は過ぎゆく、時代は変わる。それでも僕らは生きてゆく。広い社会の片隅でつつましやかに生きてゆく。さあ送ってください、君の傑作写真を。バンダイウルトラ怪獣大変身コンテスト。
スケールも愛もパワーアップ。映画史上最大のスーパーヒーローキングコングが帰ってくる。キングコング2。87年正月、世界中が再びパニックになる。
Today on Collectible Monsters, the battle of the century has been brewing. It's East versus West, Kong versus Godzilla. It's all happening today, but we're talking about the 1962 film Ikimacho!
Why, hello, and welcome to episode 14 of Collect All Monsters, our monthly show all about kaiju collectibles from every walk of life. My name is Kyle. I'm one of the many gorgeous toy collecting fiends here hosting this show, and as in addition to all the other crazy kaiju stuff I've done, I'm so happy that we're having this episode where we're kind of blending the Kaiju Cast style a little bit for the our talk later about King Kong versus Godzilla, and the Collect All Monsters style of like focusing on the toys. So I'm super stoked. Thank you guys all for being here. Thanks to everybody who's watching live. We're broadcasting live on both Facebook and YouTube. Got 48 people watching right now. Thanks for joining us. 47. I guess we're going to get some more. That's going to be great. We'll go do some shout outs in just a bit, but first let me turn things over to my good man, Leslie P. Chambers. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Collect All Monsters, episode 14. Yes, where we're talking about the classic first ever meeting between the god of Faro Island versus the king of the monsters, of course, King Kong versus Godzilla. And before I go into my show and tell, let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, I know going into this show that I am alone because I am a huge King Kong fan. I'm all about King Kong. I don't care I'm the only one about King Kong. So I will sing the praises of King Kong for the rest of the story. The winner of the movie, if you will. Now.
That was a tie.
Now. I'm sorry, folks. That was delusional that you just heard, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Now, here we go with the show and tell. Yes, I did get a few things for myself since the last time we got together, and I'm going straight to this real fast. I got my hands on the DefoReal Space Godzilla Standard Edition. That's awesome.
Nice. It's so cute. Cool.
And I got my hands on.
Whoa.
Oh no.
I guess Leslie needs to get his hands back on a good internet connection.
He got so excited he knocked himself out.
You know, just to make sure that there's no hard feelings, I'm just going to make sure everybody knows what side I'm on for this particular battle. And I'm sure that, you know, Team Kong will be back on here in no time to tell us everything that he's got. And just waiting for him to pop up again. There he is.
There he is.
I was just telling people, Leslie, that I did not actually drop you off the stream for your anti-Godzilla behavior.
Okay. All right. All right. Anyways, you can't keep a good man down. You can't keep a good man down. I got my hands on the Rick exclusive Mechagodzilla 75 figure that has the multiple light ups. This is the first light up. with the continuous light up in his eyes, and of course it's the rainbow colored. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here, but it has the rainbow colors, which is awesome. And the last thing I got for myself, I know on my last live stream on my personal channel, I know I wasn't too kind to Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, but hopefully I can make up for it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I can make
forgot
up
about
for
that
it with the Resin Chef 1965
Whoa.
Rodan.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Monster Zero 2. So I got this from Brian Schad. Ron McKay built and painted for me. So thank you very much, fellas.
Nice.
My
Fantastic.
God.
Very beautiful.
This is the main reason, Kyle and David, I wanted to do a Rodan discussion with you. So, yes, this is an awesome figure, awesome model kit. It's really sizable, 30 centimeters. The wingspan is amazing. Monster Zero 2. You can't go wrong with Monster Zero 2. And that's all I have for my show and tell. Trust, more Kong love is coming. But without further ado, let me take it over to my main man up there in Seattle, Washington, the one and the only DefoReal. Dopko. What's going on, David?
Thanks, Leslie. And yes, you have redeemed yourself. It's all good. It's all good. Monster Zero 2 saved your ass. That's so. Anyway, konnichiwa to everybody in the chat room, and hello, my fellow co-hosts. Great to be here as usual. I really didn't get all that much, or I only got one box day, but it was a pretty cool box day, and I got this guy.
Oh,
Bandai Shin Ultraman. Looking like a thin, cool
Wow.
hero.
Mean.
As you can see, there's no color timer or warning light if you're American. But he's super cool. He's really detailed for a Bandai figure. He's kind of small, but he's great. I love him. Thank you, Kyle, for the assist on this guy. Really,
My pleasure.
Much appreciated. So this is my only box day that I've had for quite a long time, and that's about it. So I'm not going to take up too much time, and so I'm just going to pass it down to my California girl, Christina. I know you're loving living on our coast now.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad. So, boy, have I got some toys. I got a fantastic box day, actually a couple box days this month. So, first thing I'll talk about is I finally got the Unified King Ghidorah bag. Actually, I can't remember if I talked about this episode or not. But, so I've been hunting this one for a while because I have the Godzilla that goes with him.
Very cool.
I think I have that Godzilla bang too, but is it electronic?
Yeah, so I have the battery pack in the Godzilla, but when you put money in it, it roars. And this one too, like if you put a coin in there, I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So I'm so excited to finally have both of them together. And then
I love those. Those are big.
They're really
they're
big.
huge.
Yeah.
I put my extra change in there to save up for another Godzilla toy that I can buy later on. Then I got this Marmot 65 Godzilla with the S-Pulse Dream Plaza building. So I have two of these now.
Beautiful.
There's 3 different colorways. This one, there's an orange one that I have, and then now I'm on the hunt for the last one, which is green, and it has a tower with it. There was one on Mandarake, and I didn't buy it, and somebody else bought it, but I'm hunting for it again.
I feel like those come up every so often. I think you'll have some good luck. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got them on my watch list. And then I have the Sun Guts Kamada-kun. I got the version. Yeah, he is cute. Yeah. I used to not like this guy, but he is actually kind of cute. I mean, look at his little face.
Yeah.
He is cute.
Kaiju derpiness.
Yeah, he's super derpy. And then I got the Marmot Pair Babies.
Yes.
With Meteorite.
Yep.
I love this colorway.
Wait, hold on.
Colors are beautiful.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
Kyle!
I'm the eyeball out. That's
Triplets.
awesome.
Triplets.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, it's a great figure. I have the Daisenso Goji and Rodan too. So I've got my own little Parababy Kaiju Daisenso set up.
Yes.
Me too.
This is like my third. How many do I have now? My third Parababy. So.
You're just getting into the Parababies kind of now. Ouch.
I have for a while.
Parababies are hot now. They're hot.
You know, back in my day, Parababies were only $30.
He's not kidding. He's not kidding. They weren't that much.
Wow. Amazing.
We were just talking about it that panel after that panel, David. The Parababies and the Monster Heaven. When those two lines came out, that's what got me to even take a look seriously at the Sofubi style. Yeah,
I love the extra pieces that come with them.
Yeah, me too. That was another cool thing too, because it's not just a figure of Baragon; it also comes with the oil rig that he destroys. Like, and it's deep cut stuff like that, or like the Varan comes with a thatched hut.
Yeah, the meteorite.
Yeah, or the meteorite. Yep. Good stuff. Great stuff.
Rodan comes with a little mini flying Rodan. This is, of course, the 56 one, but he's pretty
nice.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Christine.
Fine.
Oh, you're good.
I'm usurping your segment. Go for it.
Oh, got the saucer.
That's the one I want, Kyle. That's the one I want. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so more toys that I got. Well, actually, these aren't toys, but I got some beautiful artwork from John Bellotti.
John Bellotti is the man.
Beautiful.
Glare in here, but I got Destroya, Destroya, and then
nice.
Godzilla
vs.
Very nice.
My dang lights! I got too many lights in here. It's beautiful. And then the last thing, my boyfriend got this for me. It was a surprise because I had tried to order one, but at the time I didn't have a job. So then this.
Oh wow!
Morrison 450 Biolante.
She's big.
Amazing.
Big girl.
And this is the glitter version that I wanted too. So, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it.
I love that.
Yeah, she's huge. And there's it's kind of hard to see right now, but tons of glitter.
Yeah.
And it's translucent too. So it's translucent and glitter. Oh my gosh, I love it. And it's cool. She's even got a little vine back here on her butt.
That's
enormous.
Yeah,
Marathon's on fire. They're on fire.
Wow.
I know. He's been killing it. I kind of want to get
on fire.
The new 89. He has a Godzilla 89 sculpt out now too, but I think he's only showing that at the pop-up shops. Well, that's what this one was, but I got it, or my boyfriend got it. I don't know where he got it from, but I think. But yeah, eventually I want to get.
Definite shelf hog, though. Definite shelf hog.
Oh yeah, she's huge. I know. I wanted to pair with the 450 Rose Biolante. I gotta kind of. I'm still working in my collection room here, so. I think that's actually all I have. So yeah, that's all my epic box day for the month of March.
Amazing.
That's great.
So
all right, what about you, John?
John?
Oh, well, it's great to be with you guys. It's been a long kind of month. Got sick after getting my vaccination, so recovered, but I've been catching up. But it's been a wonderful month for some items I've been looking for. So just give me an extra 30 seconds to share. Let's see. I picked up the paperback or the edition of the Godzilla Dream book by Yuji Sakai.
That's an amazing book.
And yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
I have the hardback.
Okay.
And it came with a little Godzilla Millennium
Oh, that's
figure,
awesome.
his design, which was great, which was a surprise. I didn't know that was in the box. So that was a bonus. And the Jaguar.
Yeah.
The other half
cool.
of David's figure. Yes.
That's
Punch,
awesome.
punch.
As Leslie would say. Yes.
Here's his other counterpart there.
Yeah. We have to get together and work that out. We're going to drop
He's
them all
waving.
over the
Yes,
place
we
here.
do.
Didn't one come with the X-Plus Megalon? The flying version of Jet Jaguar? Or am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
I've got that as a Rick for the Megalon. Yeah, that's sweet. It's nice to have this large size to make some good shots, too. With some
Yeah.
close-ups. I don't know if I showed this last time, but VHS of
What?
Godzilla 84, which is great.
Oh, that's cool.
And to go with that, I think many of us have gotten our
Oh, that's the Rick. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's
it's wonderful.
Wow. Oh man. See, now
Great.
I wish I have the first release that came out. Man, I didn't know it lit up. I need to pay more attention to these things. Oh my gosh. I get too excited over
Don't go
Biolante.
back and watch episode 5 then, Christine. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's when it was, but
I thought it was just like the. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I've been building up my Godzilla card game collection. Beautiful cards, Kaiju cards, and they're really nice.
Awesome.
Found someone that tweeted about this book, and I had to get it. This is written by A.G. Sabaraya's son, and it's about 8mm camera tokusatsu techniques.
Oh,
Cool.
Small book,
that's super cool.
but fascinating content. And I'm going to try to translate some interesting portions.
I would love to
Fantastic.
read that translation. That sounds really cool.
I'll let you know when I get it together.
Please do.
Another story. I have a lot of stuff. I'm going to try to be more efficient.
Oh my gosh.
Godzilla 84 Laserdisc.
Awesome.
$10. $10.
Wow.
Wow.
Got another album from Mandarake. Couldn't let this go. Can't seem to solve at the light.
Nice.
That's awesome.
History of Godzilla Volume 3. And I will be watching this later this evening. But this is not Godzilla. Well, it's Godzilla related. Shin Godzilla related. Fukushima 50.
Oh,
I can't wait to hear what you think about it, man.
yeah.
Oh, you've seen it?
No, I just want to hear what your thoughts are. I'm looking forward to
Okay.
seeing it myself.
Another television magazine book featuring Godzilla versus Terra Mecha Godzilla.
Oh my goodness.
Almost done.
You get some good stuff.
30
You always
more
get good stuff.
Couple more books to the Godzilla. The Touhou FX series of books. Godzilla 73 and 71. Okay.
Oh man.
Got to get them. Got to keep getting them. Well, they're almost getting there. Getting there. A couple more getting there. Got to have another cool book. Got to have your book.
I've got that one. That's cool.
I'm surprised. I was much thicker than I surprised. Much more content. I got it for real cheap. Wasn't in good condition. Picked up a few more
sweet.
DVDs.
Posters, yeah.
The Kodansha sets, very cool.
I love those things.
And getting down to it. Now I'm getting down to my favorite things from this month. I've been able to build a complete 70s, Showa 70s Godzilla ticket set. So I got a ticket for Godzilla versus Hedorah.
Nice.
Godzilla versus Gigan.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Wow.
All the way through now. Godzilla versus Megalon. Second Godzilla versus Megalon, which I probably showed a few shows ago. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Terra Mechagodzilla. And I have 3 more on the way. That's from the 60s. So I've been hunting them down.
Crazy.
And lastly, got in the mail. Finally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Statue here.
Oh.
Nice.
Yuji Sakai.
The box that you worked on. The box that you
I
created.
was honored to have done it and worked with Jeremy and X Plus to do that. And that's the gifts I got
Wow.
this month.
Very nice.
Man, I got to up my game. I mean,
That always shows us all up with those box days.
No, I'm always.
I'm slacking.
I'm
slacking. Oh,
I'm always looking for stuff.
It's hurt me.
I feel like
always something good out there.
John is the kind of shopper whose grandmother gives him 3,000 yen, and she goes, "Don't spend it all on one figure." And sorry, I don't know why I gave you that grandmother. Sorry about that. But and then you go to Mandarake and you're like, all right, well, that's only 500 yen. That one there's 600 yen. And the next thing you know, you have this amazing cart built up that it's less than 3,000 yen. And your grandmother's just sitting there going like, that's my Johnny.
Yep. It's the equivalent of shopping at IKEA. It's like shopping at IKEA. You go there with the basket. By the time you're at the checkout, it's full of like $5 things, and it's like $800 worth of stuff. So,
Yeah.
wow.
Carl, the way you have the screen right now, if you go to my Mandarake account, I have for each shop, I have a cart full. And I'm just waiting for it to take off. Okay, time to launch.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
My
game. I am slacker.
Well, I'm always looking for the paper products, the books. That's always that's the stuff I can't stop. I love that the memories and nostalgia. This
Those
is
tickets
nothing
are
like
cool.
it. And I love the art, and it just makes me feel. I just want that feeling from my childhood over and over again.
Absolutely.
Me too, brother.
Wonderful
Back to
stuff,
you,
my
Colin.
friend.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's see here. What should I do first? I'll do my show and tell first. So, in addition to David, I got myself a Mr. Shin Ultraman.
Nice.
But I also opted to pick up the Neranga and the Gabara. And now what I actually would love to tell a little tale. What I did here for these guys is I ordered them all. Like I did a bulk order. Bulk, meaning like for 4 people, not like hundreds of figures. But I basically made a bulk order, a group order for myself, David, and a couple of other friends. And because of that, we were able to roll all that stuff into shipping, and it was really like the cheapest I've ever seen these figures. Like, so we were really paying like Japanese retail plus some extra to ship it back to America. So these are fun. Love that I got these guys. If anybody was paying attention to the Facebook group, Mondo shipped out all of their Pulgasari figures, and so this is my final 8-inch version, and I love it. I think it's great.
Wow.
But if you guys will allow me to take a minute to just say a couple things. I know that people have been upset because there's horns broken and the header card is getting bent and so forth. And trust me, I actually agree with all of those points that Mondo should have done a better job packing this stuff. However, the thing that they're sort of doing is they're sort of marketing this as a Sofubi style figure, and it really is not. It is X plus grade detail. Come on, focus on the thing, please.
That's really cool.
I mean, it looks really good. Like, I'm probably going to put a wash over this, David, to make him look a little more realistic.
You should.
Because he sits up there with my X Plus figures. Anyway, so the point is that Mondo marketed these as, like, Sofubi style figures, and so they put them in a bag with a header card, but really, what really should have happened is they should have had the clamshell backing that X Plus figures do, and it should have just been in a small box, you know? And that's unfortunate, and hopefully they're learning from their mistakes, because while I would not say that this is Sofubi, this is definitely like an X Plus style, like it's hard vinyl. I'm sure if you heat it up, it gets soft, but that's my suggestion to them would be to do your best to emulate what Japan does if you're trying to market yourself as being a Sofubi product, like what they're going to do with the Godzilla later on. Anyway, please don't be mad at me, Hector, for that. I'm just, being honest. There is one final thing that I really am super stoked to show you guys. I have not bought any Marmot figures in ages, and I typically, when I see like one-off color samples go up on Mandarake, I avoid them, and I avoid them because it's sort of like, well, what's to say? Who's to say if that is a legitimate paint sample or if that's just something some fan made in his garage, right? That said, they had a whole bunch of one of my favorite sculpts go up, and so I picked up this red Gigan.
Wow. I saw a bunch of those up there.
Me too. Beautiful.
Wow.
And, oh, man.
Nice.
I'm in love, right? Now, let me be honest. I have, of this sculpt from the Marmot Monster Heaven, I have a lot of Gigan figures in this collection, but from this sculpt, I have, in addition to this one, I have a light blue one somewhere back there, and the screen accurate one there, and the black gallery one there, and the glow in the dark one over there. So this is one of my favorite sculpts of all Kaiju toys of all time. And so when I saw this in red with the gold spray, and that's blue, by the way, metallic blue and green on the wing, it's just yummy. Really, I mean, it's on the corner now it's the cornerstone of my collection now here in the soft vinyl stuff. Really super stoked to have this. And again, I completely admit that normally this is not the kind of thing I would go for, because I don't really want to have like one-offs in my collection, generally speaking. But damn, this guy's gorgeous.
There's a lot of really nice ones.
I have to tell you this. Kyle and I talks on some mornings about what we found on Mandarake, and he brought those to my attention. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm so tempted to pull the trigger. And I think my exact words were, dude, you'd be silly not to. I mean, that's all you. That is you.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's not just a painted by a fan. That is definitely factory painted, but a one-off factory painted. So it's gorgeous, and I'm actually regretting now not picking up a different. They had a whole bunch of like 3 or 4.
Yeah, they had like 8 different colorways.
There's a bunch still up there. There's like a pink one, I think.
Maybe I should have pulled the trigger. So
I will tell
it,
everybody
David.
they were $150 basically. So it's about what I would say a marmot is worth these days. You know,
absolutely.
Just a regular marmot Monster Heaven figure. So I feel stoked about that. Yeah, I'm super happy about that. And the last thing I want to share is not something that I picked up, but it's actually a project that I'm working on with some fellow collectors, and it is called the Super Saturday Sophie Show. And I'll just go ahead and play the teaser that Lolo Kaiju made using some of the cool stuff that's happening. Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Fun.
I love it.
It should be a lot of fun. And so actually this is the first time, hey, people watching live, you want to see a live reaction? This is the first time these guys are hearing this. For the Super Saturday Sophie Show, our involvement, our episode is just going to be rolled into that content. So next month's episode is going to be super short. It's only going to be an hour because it's going to be part of the content block. And I've got ideas for that we're going to talk about after this particular episode. So I hope you guys tune into that. It's going to be available, I think, on kyju.tv, and more to come as we start blasting out cool information about that show, that event. It's a day of programming all dedicated to Sofubi style, the soft vinyl style of doing stuff. Anyway, before we roll into the news, Leslie Chambers, you want to help me out with some chat room check-in? Shout outs to people watching live.
We sure will.
All right.
All right. We got Pat Levy, Eric Shojin. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Lolo. Hey, Lolo, what's going on? Jonathan Portman. Jonathan Portman, what's going on? Jonathan Helmy, Albert Escobedo, Voodoo Powder, Linus Fitness Center, John Parkinson, over 9K, Joey Chapman, Godzilla Train 1090. Robert Dwyer, I gotta say this. His comment was, "Let the Kong hate begin." Yeah, because I mean, it's human nature to hate on winners and make excuses for losers. Anyway, now Kaiju Battle, Dylan Young, of course, Eric Stope, Dadzilla, Gordon Flynn, Brian Mitchell, Phil the Kaiju King, Levi Elza, Enzyme 2000, Tim Elton, just a lot of people. Phil Komodo. Excuse me. We got. A lot of
Paul Komoda's watching live. What's up, dude?
What's up, Paul?
Yeah, sure is.
Wow.
And
That's a sculptor for some of the Acro Kaiju remix series. What's up, Paul?
yeah, Mark Suggs, Demon by Design, your boy Shamoy. I love that name. Just a lot of folks. We got 61 people so far. I'm sure that'll grow. So thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, I think we got 70 watching now. It says up in the corner. It's rad.
Love you guys.
I'm loving it. There's Paul. What's up, Paul?
Yeah, damn straight. Well, welcome. Seriously, thank you guys all for watching from all over the world. We know we've got a global audience today, as we normally do, thanks to our awesome Collect All Monsters monster collectors. Thank you guys for being here. We are going to roll right into the news section, just like this. All right, let's see. This is not the order we're going to go in. Let me just do a little bit of this action. Is that good? Is that right?
That works for
what
me.
we're doing.
Yep.
All right. Kicking things off with our first news story is going to be Mr. Leslie Chambers. What you got for us, mister?
Yeah, of course. Yes. X Plus put up another online event. I think it's called the Spring Festival 2021. And we have gotten some news on what is coming down the pipeline. And the top 3 things that jumped out at me that I know that my money's already spoken for.
Let me give me your photos first, buddy. I gotta you're like going a million miles an hour, and I appreciate that. That's good stuff. But man, I'm like, whoa. All right, hang on.
Okay, just look at Kong while you get ready.
Yeah. Everybody, just hang out, wait for me. You know, it's all good.
Why do you drink all the time? You don't have to drink all the time.
He probably falls off those buildings.
He's drunk. But at least he got sober up to beat Godzilla down. So hey,
it was time.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, I ain't stopping, David. I ain't stopping.
All right, go for it, my friend.
All right. The first thing that jumped out at me is, of course, we got painted pictures of the newest gigantic coming down the pipeline.
Come on.
Also, it's the favorite Sculptors line. 1954 Godzilla. I think it was made by Inouye Arts. I had this kit at one time, and the kit is massive. The kit runs at least 20 inches tall. So he's going to be up there with the bigger gigantics, you know, the 89, the 95, Shin, 2019, and blah, blah, blah. So he's going to be a big one. Now, we don't know what the rig option for this figure is. We just got painted pictures of the prototype here. I'm guessing that maybe the rig is going to be a natural color version, but I'm just guessing here, right? I would say they would do Serizawa, but Serizawa is going to be done somewhere else, and you'll hear about that momentarily. But I think that's what's going to happen with the 54. I think supposedly when we first saw the 54, it came out last year at a show, and it said supposedly it was dropping in June. So maybe that's going to happen. But if it does happen, the pre-order should pop up for that. Maybe between now and maybe sometime in April. Maybe I'm just guessing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is, of course, the 25 centimeter MonsterVerse Rodan, the fire demon. Yes. And
amazing.
Just of it painted. We got the standard and the red. Basically, what they did with the DefoReal Rodan, where you have the brown painted colors of the standard, and you have the magma fire glow on the wings of the Rick. That's basically what's going to be. That's basically what's going to happen with the Rick option. And as you can see here, he's in the flying pose, which is awesome. Very similar to the fire Rodan, as well as the stand that Rodan's perched upon. Pretty much the same type of stand that was with the fire Rodan. And I know they have given some people some pause, but let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have the fire Rodan, and I haven't had any issue with that thing falling down or anything like that. So actually, the stand is pretty durable. So you really don't have anything to worry about here. We don't know when this is dropping, but considering that we are getting painted prototypes of this figure, I would expect the pre-orders to pop up any moment now. And the last thing I want to talk about is, of course, I'm into the DefoReals. And, we got a new DefoReal of Gamera 1996 coming supposedly this month, I believe. But they ain't stopping there with the Heisei Gamera. We're getting a 1999 Gamera from Gamera 3, The Revenge of Iris. And as you can tell with DefoReals, they do an awesome job with the detail on the body as well as the head sculpt. And if the past DefoReals are any indication, Gamera here should be awesome. Also, the Rick version comes with a small mini baby Iris. So I can't wait to have that. So between the DefoReal Gamera, the Rodan 2019, the gigantic 54, once again, my money's already spoken for, and I know I'm in trouble, but hey, first world problem, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that was really most important to me coming out of this show, but I know there were other things that my co-hosts really want to take a stab at. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to my homeboy, David. David, what was at the show that got you on fire, that really piqued your interest?
Well, I'll tell you what, X Plus really did us with a March Madness lineup of stuff, and just kind of surprised the hell out of me. For one, like the 54 that you talked about just keeps looking better every time we see a new image of it, and I'm really scared that I might have to pull the trigger on that one. But anyway, the thing that really got my juices flowing was the announcement of the Touhou Maniacs line, and they're going to be about 17 centimeters. From what I understand, and they're going to start doing human characters from the Touhou films that we love so much. Now, a lot of us, Kyle and a bunch of us for years have been talking about, wouldn't it be cool if they started to do a line of the human characters? Serizawa, Namikawa, Kila Queen, I mean, the sky's the limit. The first
and we're not just talking about fans chatting back and forth between each other. We're talking about when we're having dinner with like G and those guys. So
that's exactly right. And I think the honest truth is that every single time they asked us our opinion, this is something that we always articulated to them that the fans really wanted. And I'm pretty sure like all you guys are stoked. They're going to take up a really small footprint. They're not going to be that overly expensive. The shipping won't be that crazy. It's win, 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 win.
Oh yeah.
These figures. And the sky's the limit. And I'm just so excited. I actually private messaged G to tell him how stoked I am. And he just couldn't stop smiling. He's like, yes, I know, you're happy. I know. He wouldn't tell me anything that's coming down the pike, but I couldn't tell you even if he did. But anyway, I'm more than stoked for these guys, and I can't wait to see the possibilities that this line will produce and come up with. So, yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Christine? What?
you should say not only did they show off Serizawa, but they also showed off.
Yep.
Matango.
Yes, the completed.
Super excited for that.
Finished transformation of the mushroom dude. Yeah, it's great, and it's going to be so good to have them all on the same scale.
Yes.
And they're just going to be so great. Yes, sir.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
And it's in regards to the Touhou Maniacs.
Yes.
Now, just because I didn't mention it in my segment doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. I am excited for it. But I want to just ask this, because I was thinking about this once this thing was announced a couple of days ago, right? If they do Serizawa, and as you can see in the photograph, you can kind of see partially of Serizawa's face, which I think is awesome. Whether that would be on the actual figure or not is anybody's guess. But I'm with you. I want more characters like the human controller, the alien controller,
Mickey.
Doctor Who, yes, for sure.
Doctor Who.
Aliens from the third hole.
Mickey Segusa.
Mickey.
There are plenty of other characters they can do, memorable human characters from the movie. But I'm guessing, would it be an issue for X Plus to make an actual likeness of this figure, kind of like the problem they had with Frankenstein? Do you see them run into a problem with that?
I think that's going to be case by case. Actually, Leslie, it depends on the actor. Like Mickey Segusa might be tough. I'm not sure if she's willing to give her likeness for it, but I mean, characters. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm hoping it's not going to be too difficult to secure licensing for them, but I don't know. We're going to have to find out more details about that question. It's a great question, and when we find the answers, we'll either talk about it on here or we'll definitely post it in our Facebook group. So. But yeah, I hope it's not going to be like a difficult project to get the licenses to get some of these human characters. But anyway,
but before we move on, though, just quickly, a lot of people in the chat are super excited about this line too. We've got Robert saying maybe a Mu Empress.
Oh, definitely.
Ooh.
That's
Wow,
right.
yeah.
A lot of votes for Namikawa. A lot of votes for Namikawa. Completely people excited about it. Phil
Controller,
Kaiju King is saying Nakajima in the suit. I would love to see a realistic version of that. That would be amazing.
Someone said the corn hippie.
The corn cob hippie from Godzilla vs. Gigan. Yeah, I'd buy that.
So many. Yeah, exactly.
Easy buy. Also, Robert asked, nobody's going to talk about the Ultra releases. Well, Robert, the best thing is what we do about this news is we cherry pick some of the items that we want to talk about. And then we get to go ahead and say, if you're really interested in seeing more about what they announced, go head over to kaijubattle.net and see all the awesome news that Michael Farah, shout out to Mike Farah, has been posting nonstop. What a busy couple of years he's had, right, guys?
Yeah, he's an awesome.
News.
But
all right, sorry to interrupt the flow, but I had to make sure to show that people were also, voting for the controller. Seriously, I would be in bad shape if they just went person after person like that I've got to get, like the controller, the Mysterians, the Keelax, like all of those characters. I would
74 aliens. 74 aliens.
Yeah, man. I've got like teeny versions of some of these things, but not like nicely sculpted X Plus style. Yeah.
Well, let's not forget what we're going to be talking about later. How about like a Mr. Taco or
absolutely,
or a Kono
with
from
a little
the island? We'll get Kono.
So nobody would buy Dr. Stewart from Water Gargantuas?
I would not.
Oh,
wow.
Sorry, Russ.
But I would buy a Glenn astronaut figure for sure.
Yes.
Astronaut Glenn.
Glenn and Namikawa.
How about just a Glenn Fuji Namikawa 3-pack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it should just be a Glenn and Fuji 2-pack that couples with that controller Namikawa. I didn't use coupling in a real sense there, but anyway.
Are we
going
to get a giant roach? We need a giant roach.
I think you can just get those on Amazon.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Christine,
going back to it, Christine had her choice, her pick for the obvious pick, right?
Any surprise to anyone would be obviously we're finally getting a DefoReal 89. I knew it was coming,
and it looks
and
good
so
too.
now we'll be able to pair him with the DefoReal Biollante. So I think it looks amazing. Again, like the DefoReal line, I absolutely love. Like they're cute, they fit great on the shelf, they're affordable. And they're so detailed for such small figures. And I mean, he just looks so perfect. I'm really excited to see, what the final painted version is going to look like and what the brick is going to be. I'm hoping for maybe like a little mini Rose Biollante would be awesome. But we'll see if we do. I didn't even go with the light up. I'm all about the light up. So even though I actually never light up my light ups, but I still like to have them just in case.
Right, exactly.
Once a year, I'll go in here and just light them all up.
Right, when somebody's coming through, hang on, I got to go flip these switches real quick.
Well, I agree, Christine. The DefoReal Godzilla line in particular, I really respond to it because look at that head. You could put that on a regular size body, and it would be freaking awesome. So I love being so small. They can pack that amount of detail into the figure, so there's no excuse for phoning it in any more X Plus. You got that? No excuse. You know you can do it.
Stop phoning it in, guys.
Phone it in.
Stop giving us release after release of amazing figures. Just kidding.
But they have not been doing that. I'm just saying.
We're joking.
I'm really excited to see. I'm so glad they started the DefoReal line, and I can't wait to see what else they have coming. But so happy to finally have my 89 in the line. So I can't wait to put them together with the Biollante when she comes out, which I think is about July. That's when the Biollante is getting released. So a couple more months.
Perfection.
All right, what's your top pick from the exciting news release, John?
I think you've already taken all my favorites. I really love the 64. I'm stoked for that gigantic favorite Sculptors line 54, which is beautiful. And then to pair that with the Sarazawa, it's just a great combination to have together. So they're my favorites out of what's been. But there is another. Yuji Sakai's surprise that's coming. Kyle, do you have that?
Oh yeah. Hang on a second. That was teased on the other page, right? That's what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now you say it's Yuji Sakai. Is it actually Yuji Sakai? Is that what the text says on the page?
If my memory doesn't fail me, I believe that's what I saw.
I was just curious. It was an image, and you can't just hit the translate page on the image. You got to go through a couple of extra steps. So I didn't translate all the text on that page, but yeah.
It's his Twitter account. Yeah, and I believe it was been tweeted from his account, from his Twitter account. I believe it is.
Interesting.
All right. So who is it? Who do you think it is, John?
Well, I would love to see a Godzilla 74, but Christine, I think you convinced me. I think this is the Junior.
David too. Me and David think it's Rebirth. It looks because the pose and the way they have it, it's like the way they have like the light shining from behind them. It looks just like at the end of Destroyer.
It's the 95 Godzilla Jr. transforming
which would be awesome.
That
So
would be
awesome.
good. That would be good. But a 74 would be cool, John. But I don't think that's the shape of a 74, to be honest.
I know. It's a dream. It's blurry. It's just manifesting.
Leslie, what did you think? Did you think it's the Rebirth 95?
Well, it is thick, so it looks more sort of a Heisei design to me. If it's not the Rebirth 95, it could be the 94. I'm thinking that. But honestly, as long as it's not Shin Godzilla, I don't care what it is.
Oh,
that was a low blow.
I know people want the Awakening version, but you should have got the Gigantic last year, but that's your fault, not mine.
That's a full Awakening version.
So yes, I'm thinking it's more so of the 95, the Rebirth 95,
yeah, I think it's got to be that,
or maybe 94, because we all know Sakai. I mean, out of all the Yuji Sakais,
he likes those Heiseis.
He mostly does the Heisei.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what?
Yeah.
Like
it's kind of a no-brainer.
It's like 5 or 6 Heiseis, 2 Millenniums, and 1 Showa. Sakai, please correct that, please.
Yeah. The very funniest thing that I saw on Facebook the last couple of days when they made that announcement of that teased figure, somebody wrote, "Who do you guys think it is?" Rich Tiso writes, "Godzilla." And it was like just so perfect. It's like, yeah, I can hear him saying that, like, perfectly. But yeah, it's definitely going to be Godzilla. That is a guarantee. Leslie, I thought you were going to say it was Kong.
No. No, see, Kong is buffed up and in shape, not a fat, overweight. Like I told you, I'm not stopping.
Man.
Ouch.
I'm not stopping. I don't care if I'm on this island by myself. I am going to defend this monkey. I'm going to defend this monkey. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So let the hate come in the comment section, because I'm looking at it right now, and I'm loving it.
Monkey.
I love it. Bring that.
I'm gonna have to post my meme that I post to Leslie all the time when he gets feisty. You're a trip. Right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. But either way, it's going to be a Sakai. I think it's going to be awesome no matter what it is. And like I said, I think it's a Heisei, but we shall see.
I think. Kyle, how about you? What are you stoked about?
Well, guys, I was I'm not going to be getting this probably, but damn, that Kraken.
Oh God, I know, it's so
good.
nice.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I want a Pegasus.
Seeing the painted photo. So first up, actually, months ago, seeing the unpainted prototype, we saw how gigantic this thing looks like it's going to be. Big time shelf hog, to use that term from previously. I don't dislike this at all. I think the color scheme is freaking gorgeous. I think I don't have more photos of it, but check out Kaiju Battle for more photos and stuff. But this is going to be a showstopper piece, I think. And
so big.
Probably the only thing that's going to make me not regret buying it is going to be the price tag and the shipping cost of that guy. But yeah, it looks fantastic. As excited as I am for the toy, I'm actually a little more excited for one announcement that they made at the very end of that event, that's Spring Festival, which was that they are going to be doing something live on March 26th, Friday, March 26th, Japan time, from noon to 1 p.m. So only an hour. They're going to be doing some Harryhausen announces. I don't know. Listen, we're not going to try and do a live reaction thing. That would be silly unless I just lose my mind and say, let's do it again. But it's perfect timing for doing a little, maybe we should just do a group chat right around the same time. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Why not? We'll schedule a group chat for that's going to be like late Thursday at some point. So I'll get the timing set up so we can get that hooked up in the Collect All Monsters Collector group, and we'll just hang out. Maybe I'll get a 6-pack and we'll see what they announce during that event. But yeah, as someone, I put on a live event, Kaiju Con Line. I'm going to be working with Lolo for a semi-live event next month. I like the live events, In fact, I'll just drop it right here, even though it's like not officially an announcement, is that Kaiju Con Line 2 version 2 is going to happen at the end of August. So that's
awesome.
I'm sort of waiting on a few more things to shake out and stuff. But basically, I like live events, and I'm looking forward to seeing what X Plus is about to do with this, and if it's how it looks really. So let's move along to our. Oh, that was me. I was the last one for the news. Thanks everybody for hanging out and watching our let's talk about these news items. Hey, Attack Peter's in there. What's up, Peter?
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
He loves your shirt, David. I wonder why.
Well, I wore it just for you. I knew you were coming. So.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Well, thank you guys all for hanging out. We are going to go ahead and move into our first segment, which is all about King Kong Tai Godzilla.
Actually, Kyle, real quick,
what? We
didn't do our new segments. We just did the X Plus.
Oh man, that's right. I looked at the time and I was like, we are finished.
we can quickly buzz through it.
Hang on. So wait, Leslie went first, and then it's David, and then it's John last. Is that right? Okay.
Right.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. Thanks,
Sorry
David.
You're welcome. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I got something to say.
I got something to say. So that'd be you next.
Oh, me next. Okay.
You're next.
Wow. So it's perfect segue that you were talking about X Plus doing an online event. My news has to do with X Plus 2. They are doing an X Plus Large Monster Series Ultra Photo Contest. Woohoo! This is right up my alley. I'm totally stoked.
That's cool.
And what basically is going to happen is you guys are going to create photos from your Ultra collections, and you can use anything from Ultra Q all the way to Ultraman Powered. You can use the heroes, you can use the aliens, and you can use the monsters. And also Mirror Man, Fireman, and Busca are acceptable as well. So here's the thing, though. It's going to be a Twitter contest. And I don't know that much about Twitter, and we're a little bit confused with the actual hashtag that everyone's going to use, but we're going to research that. We're going to talk to some people at X Plus and post that in our Facebook group. And we'll probably talk about it at some other point too. But we'll get that information there for you. The official rules will also be posted in our Facebook group. And there's going to be 4 awesome prizes. Really, really good stuff. And it's going to run from March 12th all the way through March 30th. And I'm really stoked. I'm already working on some stuff. I've got some ideas. This is right up my alley, and I can't wait to see what everyone does. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I've never joined Twitter. I'm going to join Twitter just for this. So that's how stoked I am about this. So that's my news. Christine, what is your news?
Well, I'm back again with my Sofubi news. Or Safi. So CCP announced some more colorways for their very popular sculpt of Hedorah. So they have the landing, the adult, and the smokestack version with a new colorway called the Twilight version.
Ooh, I like
Not
that.
Twilight like the movies. We don't have no shimmery vampires going on here. But so it's supposed to be like a evening kind of sunset kind of look. So it's kind of got 2 different colors in there. And one thing that I noticed that's different about these that I really, really like is the eyes are 2 different colors. So I think one's like blue and one's red. But I mean, it's really gorgeous. And I think they should be going up for pre-orders soon on the CCP website. Not really any prices on them yet, but probably around the same as what they usually are, which is like around 100.
Yeah, I think generally each figure is about 100. There's some small variance due to the sizing of each one, right? So the largest one is going to be more.
And they're also limited. So I think the landing version, the smokestack one's gorgeous. So I think the landing one's limited to 150 pieces. The adult is limited to 100. And the smokestack is limited to 200 pieces. But, I mean, I like that they've been coming out with all these variants of these figures. I'm a big fan of the smokestack.
Me too.
I'm still waiting on maybe a blue splatter. Just throwing that out there. Blue. There was one that had gone up on, I think it was a prototype, blue with, like, white paint spatter on it.
Ooh,
I'm waiting for that one to get a release soon. Hopefully it's in the works somewhere. So keep an eye on Kaiju Battle because he's always updating about these figures as well. and they should be coming out for pre-order soon on the CCP website, and also keep an eye on our Facebook group because we will let you know when the pre-order is open for these.
Most excellent.
Cool. All right.
On to you, John.
Well, I just have a simple announcement. You know, I'm always looking for books, and Touhou keeps them coming for the Touhou FX movie authentic visual books. There's 2 coming, Volume 69 and Volume 70. Here we have Moguda 1994. That should be nice. And Volume 69, Godzilla 1992. So if you've been keeping up with these, it's getting, you need a couple shelves now to hold them. So
Right.
Yeah.
I want that Godzilla 92 one.
yeah, that should be nice. I mean, there's always some great unique photos and great for research. And that's it for me. Just these 2 books.
Uh-oh, we lost our...
We lost Kyle.
Oh no!
leader.
Commander.
We lost
Oh
our
no!
leader.
What are we gonna do with our
Oh,
leader?
no.
Just me.
Guys, what happened?
I don't know.
It's a live show.
Hey. I thought it was just
Also
me.
was out of control.
It's like, no
Put
rules
my
now. We
glove
can do
back on
whatever.
here. Hey, you know, it's March Madness, right?
March
Yeah, right.
Madness. March
That's
Madness.
right. Those gremlins.
Well, thank you, John. Sorry I dropped off there. I went to undo the share screen and I hit the leave studio button. Jeez.
That's all right. You multitask.
And they pay me for this? No, nobody pays me for this. Okay. All right, so I guess that means it's up to me, guys. It's up to me and my final news items, which, man, I got to tell you, is this even, like, are you guys excited about this?
I'm excited. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited.
Yeah, you guys, we're all super excited about this, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
Good point.
Godzilla Singular Point.
Oh, my goodness.
I
Someone
mean,
just posted a video about opening. I think it was in our group, in the Collectible
yeah,
Monsters group.
that's Jeremy Mounty. That's the Tokyo Toy Bastard who joined us for our first Japan chat. He basically picked up the Jet Jaguar figure and did a video review. And this is the best photo that exists of these figures because all the other ones are just the figure. The Godzilla, you know, the last episode, I feel like we showed off his design that the animation company said, look, here's Godzilla. And then Bandai came out with this. And I mean, the
Hopefully
Kaiju collecting internet
well.
kind of went off the rails. Like, people do not like it. And I got to admit that, like Peter says, the Godzilla isn't my favorite.
He's got it. He knows. Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I don't mean to share stupid news or anything like that. But this, these are cheap figures for. I would normally say these are cheap figures for kids, but these are the Japanese figures. So I will say that the Jet Jaguar actually does look kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't have a copy of it, but I saw somebody, I think on Twitter, maybe John saw this too. They repainted it. They gave him all this like weathering and did his eye details.
Really?
Actually looked pretty rad.
Yeah.
Peter's saying I should show Dope Popes. So if you guys can hang on, I will try my best to show Dope Popes.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that maybe the transition from the actual image of Godzilla to vinyl just didn't
work.
It
Yeah.
didn't happen.
didn't work
Yeah.
out so
It
well
lost in
because sometimes
translation.
it's not. Yeah.
Because the trailer
Sometimes it's
looks
not
interesting to me. I'm
Yeah, it does.
intrigued by the trailer, but I am not intrigued by these figures.
I mean, seeing Jet Jaguar in the latest trailer was phenomenal. Just seeing, his legs fully extended or whatever. Just real good.
I just think to myself every time I see images like this that with all of the endless possibilities of animation, they have to go.
Oh yeah, Dope Popes is. Ooh.
Yeah, Dope Popes got a really
Now that
Nice.
is awesome. I've seen that. That is
Beautiful.
that is awesome.
Intimidating.
Yes, it would be fantastic if it looked like that in the animation, but I just don't know what we're going to get, guys. At this point, my expectations are so low.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yep.
It could turn out to be amazing.
It could be, you know, and like I was saying to some friends of ours, I was, and I think I mentioned this when we started talking about this too. I have been told by what I would consider to be a reliable source that this is going to be good and it's going to be the kind of anime that Godzilla fans have wanted. So,
good.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, great. If it works, great. You know, that's sort of the problem that I had with the last anime series. It's like, I understood what they were doing. I really do think that I understood like what they were doing, but it just was not a sell for me.
I had no idea what they were doing.
Nothing about it. They basically took the entire Godzilla mythos with Godzilla and his top rogues gallery, and they deconstructed the entire thing and rebuilt it up into a high-tech sci-fi, and didn't land for me, I'll say. So I know a lot of people feel the same way. We don't need to go into that. Nope. Don't need the whole chat room to erupt in a Godzilla anime hate. But I've got my my mind open and my expectations low for Godzilla Singular Point, and hopefully it's gonna be fun and good.
Ditto.
There you go.
Ditto.
Oh, can I make the Godzilla Singular Point? He looks ancient. He looks like some mythical version of Godzilla, which might be an interesting spin. Like he's off of some tapestry or something, some old.
John, I can always appreciate you finding something interesting to pull out of.
He looks like a recliner.
A recliner.
The Easy Boy edition, Lazy Boy edition.
He looks like a recliner, like I want to sit on it. And kick my feet back.
Wow, you're a trip.
That one shot of him, like from the front, his face looks like those shovels. I was like, maybe. All I can see now is a shovel, like a giant shovel.
I'm just waiting for an animated project to be based on the storyboard style Godzilla. Then,
oh my god!
I will be happy as a pig
amazing.
Blank. Yeah. But until that day, we got this.
I would love to see a Showa style Godzilla animated series, where he looks like the old 70s.
Have you seen the fan project that the guys from Touhou Kingdom were working on? That was
beautiful.
Looked pretty cool. But I mean, the problem with working on a fan animation is, number one, animation takes so much time to do that it's not something that someone can easily just be like, hey, I'm going to create a world-class animation on my free time. Right. So if you're doing something fan made and you're putting all this time and effort into it, hopefully you're paying the people, or you're hopefully getting paid to do it. And it's not just going to be a wash when you put it out there and then Touhou smacks you with the C&D. So anyway, let's bring this room back up.
Please.
And let's finally talk about our actual subject for this episode, which is King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, the 1962 classic. Basically what I thought we could do is here, just in the normal kind of roundabout, go around the room. I thought we could talk about three things. We could each go through and say like how we feel about this film, this original film. The second thing we'll talk about is an interesting factoid that we want to share. And the third thing, and we'll do one round would be how we feel, second round would be factoid, and third round would be our favorite collectibles from King Kong versus Godzilla. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with you, Leslie.
Oh my god! Why would you start with Leslie?
Because we're talking about the '62 film, right? So I figured if we're talking, this is not about the current rivalry. This is about the old school stuff, man. Like, where does this movie sit in your love for Godzilla movies? Do you watch King Kong versus Godzilla often?
Well, they start with me, Christine, because I'm cool. Period. End of story. Now, let's just say I grew up with this film. I love King Kong vs. Godzilla. It is in my top 10. It is actually number 10 on my favorite of Godzilla films. And it was one of the films that made me become more of a fan because I'm a huge fan of both King Kong and Godzilla. I love them both equally the same. But I do find it that this film, or at least the ending of this film, really gets on the nerves of Godzilla fans. And sometimes I have to admit, I do find pleasure on poking that bear a little bit.
Like to push those buttons.
Because I just find, even now with the current film, there's a lot of fans out there, Godzilla fans out there, that just hate King Kong. They just can't stand this dude. You would think that Kong did something personal to these people. You would think that Kong personally went to their house, kicked down their door, made love to their wife or their husband while eating a ham sandwich right in front of them. You would think King Kong did something personal to these people.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, I am of the opinion, and I do find the film at fault because it don't take a definitive stance on who really won. But the reason why I think Kong won is because, for one, at the time, even though Godzilla was, the new kid on the block, even the film that came out in Japan, it was made in Japan, King Kong was still considered more of the draw and more of the star between the two. And that's not a knock against Godzilla because he was just starting out, right? But between the two, Kong was
John.
Kong
I
was,
see you reacting down there.
I know the truth hurts, John, but so Kong was considered more of the star, right? And a lot of fans cannot get over the fact that Godzilla seemingly lost to King Kong. Now, had this been Mechagodzilla, had this been Megalon, had this been Biollante, nobody would bat an eye, but nobody seems to want to give.
I would bat an eye if it was Biollante.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to give Kong the credit. Now, I say Kong won because, for one, he was the hero. He was the protagonist. Godzilla was still the villain in this part of the series. Mm-hmm. He had to have what he had coming to him, and he was the villain in the next film, which is my favorite and David's favorite film, Mothra vs. Godzilla, and he lost there too. So Godzilla had to lose. But also, in the grand scheme of things, I don't mind that Kong wins because, at the end of the day, this film really kicked off the Showa series. Say what you will about the 54 and the 55 film. I think this film had a lot to do with how we got the awesome Showa, campy Showa films, which led to the Heisei, Millennium, and the current MonsterVerse. So, without this film, I think Godzilla would have become a star no matter what. But I think this film had a lot to do with Godzilla becoming the star that he did ended up becoming. So I have no problem with Kong winning, but in the grand scheme of things, Godzilla was the ultimate winner. Because look what we got out of it. Godzilla got like 30-something films, where Kong got like maybe 9 or 10, if that. So that's why I have no problem saying that Kong won this fight. And it's not like, when you see Godzilla fight Mechagodzilla or fight Biollante or fight King Ghidorah, you enjoy those films. But if you're one of those people that look at that and see Godzilla defeat King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, you're like, that's great, Godzilla. But in the back of your mind, it's like, but yeah, you still that Kong thing. If that really bothers you, find a new hobby. Just find a new hobby, because I wouldn't take it too seriously. But seriously, I love King Kong vs. Godzilla, and I enjoy it. It's part of my childhood, and I'm glad that on this show we're actually covering this film, because with the new hype of the film, everybody's talking about the trailers. Everybody's talking about the new hype for the film, but nobody's covering the classic. And quite frankly, we would not have the new film without the old film. So after this episode, go watch King Kong vs. Godzilla with the Japanese version or the American version, and you will have a good time. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to my best friend, David. David, what do you have to say about King Kong vs. Godzilla?
So, just like you, Leslie, I grew up with this movie. It was like a special event in my house when it played like in the evenings. I was allowed to stay up to watch it. Okay, you usually on Channel 9. King Kong vs. Godzilla was usually Channel 9, WOR, New York channel. And every Thanksgiving, they would do, on Thanksgiving Day, they do a King Kong marathon. King Kong, Mighty Joe Young, and Son of Kong. And then Friday, the next day, they would do a Godzilla show. And they do, one of those was inevitably King Kong versus Godzilla. Now, I don't believe that King Kong won. I believe Godzilla had the upper hand for most of the film. And the last battle, because of the lightning strikes, it ended up being a tie. Okay. So I'm definitely not thinking that Kong won. It's basically East versus West. It was a big deal for fans back in the 60s when this was released to see it in the theaters because King Kong was a huge box office draw, much more than Godzilla was in the United States. But it was definitely, even in Japan, it was the highest grossing Godzilla film to date. Mm-hmm. And as Leslie said, without King Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla may not have even gone on to do anything else, to be quite honest with you. It's just a fun film. I equally enjoy the Japanese version as well as the American version. The American version is actually paced better. They cut a lot of things out that aren't really necessary that are present in the Japanese version. I do hate the fact that they, sort of butchered Akira Ifukube's, really incredible score. Aside from really the Faroe Island music, that's all that they left intact. The rest is stock music from Universal horror and sci-fi films. So in that respect, you got to give credit to the Japanese version. But I'm definitely have love for this film. It's in my top 10 too. It's hovering around like 8, 9, or 10. It depends. It's kind of in motion, but it's a great movie. I love Godzilla's design. He much improved from the Godzilla Raids Again, even though it's supposed to be the same creature that emerges from the iceberg. Very reptilian, massive, huge, beautiful dorsal plates, long, sinuous tail. Just great, massive, a villain, as Leslie said. And so you needed Kong to be sort of the hero and sort of the comedy relief because Godzilla was so actually kind of scary in this movie, if you think about it, the things that he does. But love the movie. I love it. It's great. I watch it quite often, and I vacillate between the American version and the Japanese version. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Christine, how about you, my dear? What do you think?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's definitely I'm more of a '90s Godzilla fan. I like the '90s films because they're more realistic, I think. Well, maybe except for Space Godzilla, but
yeah,
I guess
I was about to come back.
That was a bit goofy. That's a bit out there. Like King Ghidorah too, but honestly, the only time I watch this one because every year I try to watch all movies in order, so I watch it. And I kind of like suffer through it. But now with the Criterion, I've been able to watch the Japanese version a few times now. And it's still at the bottom of my list. I'm sorry. But I think the reason why I don't like it as much is because the first two movies, Godzilla was more like he was scary. And he was like this evil, spirit. And he was, angry and had a purpose for attacking Tokyo and all that. And this film just kind of totally turned it all around, and it was more comical and this is when they started aiming more towards like the younger generation. They wanted to make it more kid friendly and all that. And I like the scary, mean Godzilla. So I mean, I watched this one a lot growing up. Maybe not a lot, but my favorite was like the sea monster. But I always thought like Kong looked kind of goofy in this movie. Watching it again, I was like, oh my gosh, the suit is so fun. Like the puppet when they used for the close-ups, I was like, oh my gosh, come on, man. It was good for what they were working with, back then. It's just that goofy face, like what? Like when I compare it to the 50s Kong, when they did the suit, the stop motion, like 30s. It looked like. Yeah, like the 30s.
Yeah.
Oh
30s,
god. Okay,
33.
whatever. I don't know.
33.
Listen, I'm not all there right now. But like even then, like there was a difference. Like that Kong looked a little bit more, I would say, realistic than the one that was on the '62 film. And but I mean, it's still a fun movie. There's parts I think that were a little bit long. My boyfriend fell asleep watching this one. So, I mean, I can't really say it's not exciting. It's funny. I love Mr. Taco. I mean, I love, like, the funny things that they throw in there. But for me, it was kind of a total flip from the first two films, where they were a more serious tone. And now it's like, whoa, what happened all of a sudden? Now it's, like, funny and it's going more towards the lighter side.
We get you. I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, I get
I feel like you're thinking we're like disapproving of your answer.
Yeah.
Like we're.
Oh
you have you have every right to not love it. It's like it's
but it is nostalgic. Like I grew up watching.
It's totally nostalgic.
But I would even say like when there were times when I didn't really care for this film. You know, there were definitely. I'm not jumping ahead of my. I'm just saying like this is not a film for everybody for sure. You know, and if you're,
it's not one for
I
me.
definitely feel
fun.
like it helps to learn a lot of the backstory, but like a lot of the backstory isn't available readily. You know.
But it's fun.
It's true that the nostalgia factor is huge for me with this one, and I know for John too. And I didn't talk about the Kong suit. I'll do that really quick. The Kong suit is terrible. It's shoddy. It's definitely not the emphasis. Tsuburaya did not put emphasis on this Kong suit. He put emphasis on the sets, on the Godzilla suit, and on the miniatures. Like that, and the landscape. It's I think some of the best.
Like you could tell.
But the Kong suit is shoddy and it's terrible and it doesn't match. The puppet doesn't match, and even there's two like heads on the suit that don't match up, and the arms go from short to long. It's terrible, but something about it, I love it. I give it passes. I don't know why. I love it, and I do disagree with you. Godzilla is not goofy in this one. He's actually, except for when he's with Kong at certain times, he's actually pretty serious.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
destroys that NATO base.
Yeah, lovely. That's it. When he's always like,
all right. Well, you know, he wrecks the Shinkansen train. That's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think.
I guess the rest of the tone of the film.
Ryan Mitchell just said, coming out of that iceberg, it's just incredible.
I do like that scene.
And that's what the continuity from the last film picks up, because it's that Godzilla. It's not the 54 Godzilla, because he's dead. But anyway, sorry, John, what do you think about it? I think I know the answer, but what's your take on it?
I have a range of emotions about this film. Be careful, Leslie. Let me say, now, is it true? Now, I did hear that they weren't allowed, obviously, to make Kong look like the American version of Kong. So, so the suit design, I give them a pass for that. But let me say, this film, like you do, holds a lot of.
But they were allowed to make him look good.
I know.
They could have made him look good.
Sorry.
I have a lot of different feelings about Kong in general. I do love the 33 film. But this film holds a lot of memories. I remember seeing it for the first time on Dr. Shock here in Philadelphia on Channel 17. It was all, worked up. I think it was at 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
I could still see the commercials.
Me too.
And, that was my first view of it. But I really didn't like seeing Godzilla, get abused in any way. And I think that's why I always hold this, kind of feelings about the film. I didn't like anything. Yeah, I didn't like Mothra versus Godzilla. The only show of Kaiju to defeat Godzilla was Mothra. That's according to the book. I'm just, Kong might have got around and Godzilla got around, but when they called that fight at the end, it was like they both went over the cliff.
Yes, they did.
I thought it was a tie.
Well, the book said it was a tie. That's just a record. Look, I don't write them.
Godzilla's way underwater.
But that book that I wrote said that he won. That's
yes, me too.
Tomoyuki Tanaka. I've got it. Mothra is the real show a chance. Just for With that said, though, I enjoyed the film and I love the suit. And I wish, and David, you may have said this before. I wish the suit had been in other films.
Yes.
Because it is. I love it. I love the design. It's different. It's unique out of all the suit designs.
It really is.
It's not the film I turn to when I want to watch a 60s show, a Godzilla film, but I appreciate it more and more. In part, sometimes for the other things other than the fight sequences. Mr. Taco, and I really appreciate the 60s era, but maybe for the cinematography as well, and and the color, the technicolor, whatever, and all those other things that make the movie special. And some of the set, I love the set. I love the rocks and the hills and just the rocks, and then the final battle at Atami Castle. Just beautifully done, and overall, it's in my top 10 for sure.
Yep.
Maybe not above the top 5, but it's definitely a good film.
Exactly, me too.
There are some things in there that make me uncomfortable as well, but overall I love the film.
Now, John, before you forgot to say that you're not feeling Arnold Johnson because you hate that scene where he says that Godzilla's brain is about this size. I know.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
That
See,
scene, it cuts here, no, sorry.
When you're young, Godzilla is everything, and anything that demeans or takes from his prowess and his. No, I don't have it. I don't mind Mechagodzilla, doing some damage because I know how epic his comeback is going to be. But with Kong, come on, absorbing lightning. Come on. That's Godzilla's thing.
There's a reason behind that. That's the only
way he could win is to give him something.
Thank you. And let me just say, in this new film, they're trying to find something to give him some power. Had to make him bigger, and he got this axe thing. Come on, man. Come on.
Does that bother you? Does it
You're
really
making that up.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it.
He's still gonna get his butt kicked.
I still
my
love
gosh.
that.
Come on.
I love it.
But
I know.
come on.
Yep, I know.
I know. I feel bad for you, John, too. I really do.
Just wait, we're gonna be surprised come March 31st. We're gonna have some surprise.
That's what I said earlier. Had this been Mechagodzilla, any other monsters, nobody would bat an eye. Because it's King Kong, just Godzilla fans lose their minds for some reason.
It's probably because Kong has an elevated place in American cinema, and everyone leans toward Kong here in a lot of ways.
But it's funny. It's like when guys, I mean, according to the average Godzilla fan who don't know no better, Kong is just an overgrown giant gorilla. But yet, y'all didn't say nothing when Godzilla fought a giant shrimp, a giant spider, a giant praying mantis.
Because he beat the crap out of those things, dude.
But still, Ebra gave him a good fight, though. You got to admit, right? But still, it's like nobody said nothing about Ebra, nobody said nothing about Kamunga, nobody said about Kamacuras, but as soon as you say King Kong, I'm like, okay.
Let me,
right.
I'll tell you my reason why I don't like it. I would have hated to have seen Godzilla fight Frankenstein. It's like Godzilla's fighting a human now, and that's the problem. Kong, and that's the problem. I'm like, no, that's the humans are the problem from the beginning. That make a Godzilla. So, I got a problem with Kong and with even Godzilla fought Frankenstein, from Frankenstein conquers the world, etc. I don't want that. That's not a kaiju. That's just
I get that, but you know what? I think the reason why the film ended the way it did, you have to realize Touhou had to pay money to use Kong in their film. And say what you will about that, Touhou really wanted to make a King Kong film. King Kong was partial inspiration to the original Godzilla film anyway. Subaraya said that. So they had to pay to use King Kong. So I think the way they did it was to please the people at RKO, because I don't see RKO letting their most famous character to the studio, to this foreign studio, and say, you know what, you can have Kong, but he has to win. I think something like that happened. So Touhou, I think, was in a position where they were like, okay, how can we make it appear that Kong won, but yet not have our monster look like a punk because of it? And I think that's basically what you got.
That's an interesting perspective.
That's a really interesting perspective.
And it may indeed be true on some level. Yep.
The only reason that I think that maybe that I'm not like discounting it, but the only reason that I would even say like maybe not is because I have this feeling that John Beck, the producer that brought Kong to Touhou, he had no real connections to RKO. Obviously licensing had to happen for the movies to happen, but he took that deal to Touhou because Willis O'Brien was trying to get another King Kong movie made. And my slightly informed opinion, but only opinion, is that John Beck was like, yo, Touhou, you want to make this movie? Cool. Have at it. see you later. Let me know when it's ready for me to take in the profits.
That's what happened. That's what happened because I think I think in all intents and purposes, he stole Willis O'Brien's Frankenstein idea, more on that later, and took it to Touhou, and Touhou didn't have any knowledge of that. So trust me, we're not bashing Touhou, ladies and gentlemen. They were in the dark about what happened, but that's what basically did. He took the idea from Willis O'Brien, took it to Touhou, but it was a happy accident because look what we got out of it.
Yep, it's true. And here's the actual deal. Touhou really wanted a vehicle to bring Godzilla back to the screen for their 30th anniversary, and what better way than to have an iconic giant monster from the United States fight their iconic giant monster from Japan, Godzilla. That's the bottom line. And they probably couldn't kill Kong off too if they had the idea that they were going to do another film, because Godzilla versus the Sea Monster was supposed to not be Godzilla, it was supposed to be Kong, and you guys all know that. That's why Godzilla acts very Kong-like in many of the scenes. So who knows? That we ultimately did get King Kong Escapes, but anyway, Kyle, how about you? What do you think about this movie? Let's hear your thoughts.
You know, I do actually. I love this movie for what it is. Right. I talked to you guys about this a little bit. I've introduced King Kong versus Godzilla in theaters more than any other film because it is a crowd pleaser. It's the movie that people are like, look, we got access to this. Let's put it up on the big screen. And I always tell people that, you know, I take Godzilla movies very seriously. Godzilla movies is serious business, except for King Kong versus Godzilla because it is actually a comedy. And I think that's what makes this film stand apart. It's a comedy in the fact that it is it's looking at it's taking a satirical look at the modern, at the time, society with capitalism just running rampant through Japan. And I think it's fascinating. It's a fascinating look in the differences between America and Japan. It's a fascinating look at and even in society too, the societies of Japan and America, and like how they took the idea and ran with it, and then how America took that movie and changed it up, just like King of the Monsters. Like there's a lot of stuff about this movie that I love, but at the same time, I didn't really care for it when I first watched it. I think this was probably the first Godzilla movie that made me laugh out loud, and that was when the Kong and the Godzilla puppets fall down Mount Fuji and start sliding down on their butts. I was laughing my ass off at that, man. However, this is the third Godzilla movie ever, and this is the second time it's giant monster fighting giant monsters. So I give this movie a really wide berth. I give it a lot of leeway. And for me, King Kong versus Godzilla might not be in my top 5, but it might be in my top half of kaiju movies. It's super, super fun. And the response, seeing people respond to this movie is fantastic. So
it's funny.
If you haven't had the opportunity, once COVID is all, leveled out and we can go back to movie theaters safely, if you ever get the opportunity to see the original 1962 King Kong versus Godzilla in the theater with other people who want to see it, I highly suggest it.
I'll do it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm in.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to share is our favorite factoids or trivia bits about King Kong versus Godzilla. We're just going to kind of, again, go around the room. We'll just blaze through these really fast and get through the next section really fast, and then we'll hit our intermission after that. So, Leslie, what important or interesting, significant factoid did you find out about King Kong versus Godzilla that you wanted to share?
That basically that the original plan for this movie was to have, like I said, King Kong fight a giant version of the Frankenstein monster. I think he was going to be a monster that was going to be sewn together by African parts, something like that.
That's
Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus.
So, that's right.
So I find it very ironic and funny that actually this movie and the next movie, Monster vs. Godzilla, the original plan for that movie was for Godzilla to fight Frankenstein. I'm sorry, John. I really am. So I find it very ironic that we almost didn't get two of the most popular films in the Showa series because originally, respectively, Godzilla and Kong was going to fight a version of Frankenstein in their movies. But I think everything worked out for the better on all fronts here. You know, King Kong vs. Godzilla ended up becoming basically a staple for everybody's childhood. Mothra vs. Godzilla, me and David ain't got to tell you about that movie. So I found that tidbit information that the common denominator between the two original plans was Frankenstein. How about you, David?
Very interesting. So I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about how the original 1933 King Kong inspired the Japanese filmmakers to make this movie. It's been noted that Tsuburaya and Honda and Ifukube, as a matter of fact, all three were greatly inspired after they viewed the original King Kong. And I am going to read you guys a quote that I found in August Ragoni's awesome magazine, E.G. Tsuburaya, Master of Monsters. So if you please will indulge me for just a second. Now, this is actually a quote directly from E.G. Tsuburaya from the Mainichi News, March 27th, 1962. My movie company came up with a very interesting script that combines King Kong and Godzilla. So I couldn't help working on this production instead of my new fantasy films. The script is very special to me, and it struck a deep emotional chord because it was seeing King Kong back in 1933 that sparked my interest in the world of special visual effects. So Tsuburaya himself was so inspired by the original King Kong that he put much love into making this film. And it's just one of those things where the original just inspired so many filmmakers, including Ray Harryhausen. That's how he got started in the fantasy film business as well. So I'm not going to say anything more, but just a huge inspiration. And 30th anniversary for Touhou, a great film, highest grossing Godzilla film to date. Just great. And if you have not picked up this book from August, it's great. Check it out. Christine, how about you?
All right, so actually I want to talk a little bit about the very first monster fight that was in Godzilla versus King Kong, and it was actually Kong versus the giant octopus, or Odaku. So the octopus was actually a challenge for the special effects team, and they used 3 different ways of effects for Odaku. So the first was they used 4 different live octopuses for the scenes when it's attacking the village. So they used a live octopus with the actors. They kind of like spliced the actors over, and afterwards 3 of those octopuses were released back into the wild, but one of them became a very special dinner for Tsuburaya. So he did not win in the end.
Nope.
And then they also used a stop motion octopus for when he was attacking the villagers and throwing them around, grabbing them and all that. And then the third effect they used was, which was pretty obvious, was the puppet, the plastic that they wrapped in plastic to make it look all kind of slimy and mucusy, which is what the suit actor in the Kong suit actually fought with, was the giant puppet. And then another tidbit I thought was really cool was the animation director for Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest actually instructed his team to specifically watch those scenes in King Kong vs. Godzilla with the octopus to use as a reference when they were animating the Kraken's tentacles. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting. And you got to believe that filmmakers who made the Skull Island had definitely found inspiration in the original from that great scene. It's too short, but the great scene where that particular Kong battles that octopus and then ultimately ends up eating him, had to be inspired by the original.
Absolutely.
Had to be.
Yeah.
That was the first fight in that movie.
It was. And it was done really well too. And just putting it out there, that's a really cool Kong. I like it. It looks sort of like a Touhou Kong if it were animated in CGI. I just like that. So anyway, sorry.
What cool factoid do you have for us, John?
I have the obvious ones. The first Godzilla film in color. It was the first, in a Touhou scope or cinescope, and also the first time they built the pool. That big, huge... The big pool,
the
big pool in the back.
Right.
So all those things that would be important to going forward in the Showa series. So many firsts.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And back to our leader, Kyle.
Well, thanks, guys. I do have, man, there's so many factoids that could be shared about this movie.
Yeah.
One of the only other things I love to do when I'm in front of a theater telling people about these movies is I like to break out the old press kits or the showman's manuals and share some of the craziness inside. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual King Kong versus Godzilla showman's manual. But in every single one of these, pretty much, there is a set of instructions for theater owners on how to get the best bang for your buck when showing Godzilla versus blah, right? Or King Kong versus Godzilla in this particular instance. And so even though I don't have the actual showman's manual, thankfully, Steve Reifel shared some of this in his book, Japan's Favorite Monstar, the unauthorized biography of the Big G. And, these always are big hits with the crowds when I read them out loud. There was apparently a bilingual press release issued by Touhou where both monsters were predicting their own victory. Godzilla said something like, "It's most gratifying for me to have the privilege of seeing you again after breaking through an iceberg in the Arctic Ocean where I was buried. At the thought of my engagement with King Kong from America, I feel my blood boil and my flesh dance."
That's awesome.
It's awesome. But then there's that. Actually, I think that was from Touhou, not just like a theater thing. The theaters would also put on these. I mean, hopefully they did. I wasn't around back then, but little they suggest doing parades. Put on a big float, King Kong versus Godzilla float, or put on a fake fight, right? Where you've got a guy. This is the best one, honestly. I'm just going to end with this one. Okay. Actors wearing Godzilla and King Kong costumes were to be sent into the streets. The costumes should be easy to prepare. Use red electric bulbs to simulate atomic fire. For a gag, let King Kong carry a jug of King Kong juice, which he drinks lustily from time to time, getting hilariously drunk as he does in the picture.
That's gold.
There's quotes around those, so I'm guessing those are directly from the Showman's Manual. Those are awesome. I absolutely love that stuff. Actually, if I ever get a hold of the Showman's Manual for King Kong versus Godzilla as a collectible, to bring it into our next segment, that it actually comes with a little record, like a little flexi disc record that has like the radio ads for King Kong versus Godzilla. So someday that's in my collection. I've got like 3 or 4 or 5 press kits as it is right now. I really like those old ephemera from America too.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to our collectibles, our toys, our monsters from this movie. What are your favorite collectibles? And actually, when I'll make your screen bigger here, Leslie, so that you can actually show us the goods up big.
Well, I do have a few collectibles for this movie.
Oh, but don't knock the monster down.
Get him.
Don't do it.
Heart. It's fluttering like Kong's eyes.
I got me some new shelves. Move Kong so you can see the shelves. See, I got some new shelves.
Nice.
So I can house more crap in there. But yes, I mean, notwithstanding, I got the S Plus Gigantic 62, that fat guy up there. I got me a custom Giant Kong 62, which you'll see after intermission when I'm hugging him. Yes, Team Kong. Talking about but yes, my top 2 favorite collectibles from this movie is, of course, the S Plus 30 centimeter 1962 Godzilla. In my opinion, the best one the S Plus has ever done. Yes. And of course, you've been seeing him all night because he deserves it because he was the star of the film. The Rodan Kaiju 30 centimeter giant model kit built up by the awesome Steve Savagoli and sculpted and made by Beto Matali. The Rodan Kaiju Giant Gorilla 1962, also known as King Kong 1962. I'm gonna steal David's word here. The quintessential King Kong figure. And that's it. That's all I want to say about collectibles. What about you, David?
Kyle, I think you've got a slide or an image of my Kong collectibles that I put.
Yes, sir.
There. So these are my Kong collectibles.
The blue one.
I love them all equally as much. Nice. Now, I painted the the standard color Roto Kaiju Kong. That's the Kong 2.0. And Steve Serajoli actually painted. That's actually glow in the dark blue paint on the first issue of the Roto Kaiju Giant Gorilla. And there is an Apes Kong, that 62 Kong, and then of course the iconic Bandai Kong as well. And for the Godzilla, I don't have an image for the Godzillas, but I'm going to show you this guy. This is the gold Gigabrine, the very first.
Beautiful.
Just a beautiful figure. It's undeniably incredible. Your eye goes right to it on my shelf. I really like it. And then I'm going to choose two more. I'm going to choose the gigantic, the X Plus gigantic 62 Kong, which we were lucky to see in mid-production in Japan when we were there in 2015. And then I'm going to also give a shout out to the favorite sculptor line, X Plus King Kong, which is based on the Atragon GK resin King Kong kit, resin King Kong model kit. So that's what I got. There's so many great things, and it's hard to choose, but those are the ones I chose. Christine, what about you?
Well, I actually do have a 62 Godzilla figure. Only one, I'm sorry. But I couldn't resist.
And he's
when
blue.
I saw this. Yes, and he's blue translucent with this beautiful gold spray. So this is the Gigabrain 62 Godzilla. Yeah, sadly, it's the only 62 that I have because I'm not the biggest fan of the suit. But this figure is gorgeous. I like blue. I like translucent. I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. It's a great sculpt, fun to pose, and I love Gigabrain stuff.
Me too. Good choice.
That's all what I got. What about you, John?
I don't have enough 62 representations, but the ones that I do, I love. And my favorite, and I don't have it, I can't pick them up, is the gigantic, X Plus Gigantic 62. But I actually probably enjoy taking photos of my X Plus 62s more than maybe any of my other Godzilla representations. But I don't take many shots because I would read too many. I mean, people would get tired of it. But I love the favorite Sculptors line.
It's amazing.
I think, isn't it? And Dave, I love the shots you've taken. Sometimes I want to come behind you and take them again because you get the angles so beautifully.
Yep.
There's so many great angles to be taken. So this is probably my favorites. But I have to say, I regret not getting that X Plus figure of King Goji where he's kind of walking. And
I have it.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's right behind me.
I regret not getting that. But,
he's
pick and choose. I would love a bust of King Goji too, like a big, gigantic big bust or a head, With that said, they're my favorites. Oh, one last thing, and I won it today on Buyee.
Goodies.
Is a Touhou Champion Matsuri King Kong versus Godzilla ticket.
Oh, nice.
It cost me a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but it was completely worth it.
That's awesome.
So I'll have it next week.
That's great. So if I may, before you go, Kyle, I'm going to make it's kind of an addendum to my news segment. There is has been announced Akira Ibaraki new sculpt of the 1962 Godzilla. Now, this is going to be one in his 40-centimeter resin pins and magnet series, and we've only got some teased images of certain parts of the model that are finished. But I actually emailed him, and he said it should be complete by May. So we should be looking for being available to purchase starting in May, and we will definitely keep you guys informed. Those of you who are into models, I know Ryan Mitchell's still in our chat room, and he's a model dude, and it's beautiful. It looks like it's going to be, dare I say, the quintessential 60s. I love Leslie's impression of me, but I've done yes more than enough times, so I guess I deserved it. But yeah, I'll post some pictures if I haven't already in our Collect All Monsters Facebook group. So stay tuned for that news. So Kyle, let's pass it on to you. What are your collectibles that you dig?
Just out of curiosity, David.
Yes, sir.
I think, is this one of the photos of that Ibaraki kit? right here.
That is indeed one of the photos of it. Yeah, I actually have never seen that one. That's one that's must have just recently come out. Yeah, and open and closed mouth like he's done with the other ones that he's put out the last couple of months, and huge, massive 40-centimeter model kit. The tail's probably really long. Again, a novice modeler can build this guy because it's built with pins and magnets, and you do not need any glue whatsoever. I'd recommend some parts you might want to glue eventually, but super great. The detail's amazing. Probably not going to be an inexpensive purchase, but sometimes you got to pay for the good stuff, man. And,
well, what of those kits? Because this is now the third one, right? So like these got the 64, which you built, and the 99.
99, and this is the third in this particular series, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan will know if there's another one. I think maybe they did a Heisei. He did a Heisei at some point that was before these were released, but I'm not quite sure on that. But they're great.
But what's the price tag on the previous two? Just to like $400 bucks?
Roughly, they're about $500 before shipping.
Okay.
And, and the shipping, because they're very heavy, the boxes are super heavy. Will probably be at least another $100 to ship it. But I guess I could be mistaken on that. But
that's still though, even those prices, even thinking back when I used to bulk at model kit prices. Those are pretty good, especially when you compare them to like the cost of an X Plus Gigantic, right?
That is absolutely true, and it's just shy of the. I mean, 40 centimeters is a big kit, and the quality of these kits. I'm telling you, if you see them in person, they're just astounding, and they're museum quality. I mean, there's certain figures that can be elevated to the status of museum quality. These kits are museum quality, and the great thing about them is if you have to move or something, you can disassemble it just as easily and put it right back in the styrofoam container that it came in, and it's just really, really great. So I just wanted to put that out there. Perfect timing for our 62 Godzilla chat, and more information coming soon. So please stay tuned.
Yes. And actually, I think there's a couple of people who actually asked about that in the chat. So stay tuned to the Facebook group. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, hey, why don't I throw up a banner for the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors Facebook group? That's why they're there, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about my collectibles. I actually don't have that many collectibles from this film. I do have a movie poster, and I have a couple of ephemeral books and so forth that cover this film.
Patch?
I got a patch. That's right. I got a King Kong patch, and I got a Godzilla patch, and all sorts of cool stuff. There might even be some pins on here. I don't even know. But in terms of figures, I also have a Gigabrain. This is a gorgeous little guy.
Wow.
I actually bought from Dan Miller, and this is not
pretty.
The lighting is not doing this guy justice. It's translucent and somewhat neon. It's
I've never seen that.
ultraviolet reactive. So if I turn the lights off, he doesn't glow in the dark. But if I take this guy over to my UV light, he glows insanely brightly.
Weird.
It's really cool. And it was one of those like happy accidents. I was just like, what's that guy glowing across my room when I turn the light on? There he is. So
I've never seen that
great
before.
figure.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
in fact they made at least 2 or 3 different, because most times when they do these, they'll do a series of them. This was back in the day. They would do a series of them in the same colorway, right? So you get like this neon green in the 62, and also the 64, and also the 65. They don't do that as much these days. They tend to bounce around with those colorways. But yes, I absolutely love that guy. And then the other thing I was going to show you guys is that they should fight. You should let them fight.
Kong, yes.
So this, I'll start with Kong. This is the Billiken Kong.
All right.
Fantastic.
This is my favorite Kong sculpt. First up, I will absolutely admit that Beto sculpt is phenomenal and really, really suit accurate.
Is.
However, the stylism in this, the stylizing that's going on with Kong's design is just superb. I have always loved this kit ever since I saw it. It's got slightly cartoony vibe to it, just a little bit. But I think that when you're looking at something and comparing it to the actual gross King Kong suit in the 1962 film, stylism can be an improvement.
That's right. Most definitely.
Now, this is a 30 centimeter kit. I don't have a ton of 30 centimeter figures, but basically he's sort of an odd man out. And I don't have the X Plus Godzilla in the 25 centimeter scale, but David recognizes this bad boy.
I do.
This is the Bandai Museum kit that actually David did a little touch up on in the eyes and the mouth.
The mouth was hanging too far open, so I closed the mouth slightly and resculpted the jaw so it matched. And he almost looks like the favorite Sculptor line Godzilla.
He really is. When you showed him from this angle your favorite Sculptor line earlier, I was like, wow, that's really similar. This was, like as I said earlier, the Bandai Museum, and I actually bought this from David because I had just sold my own version of this that I had purchased back when it came out, and then I made that decision to get rid of all of my 30 centimeter X Plus figures, and that's what happened what ended up happening with that guy. But this guy's gorgeous in my lineup. He fits really well. He really does look just like an X Plus figure because there's kind of is. I'm sure somebody in the chat will mention that. But those are my collectibles. That's the collectible side of King Kong versus Godzilla. Thank you guys all for hanging out and talking about that stuff with us. Holy moly! It's been an hour and 49. I think it's about time for us to take about a 2-minute intermission.
Okay.
And when we come back, oh no, we can't leave yet. You know why we can't leave yet?
What did we miss?
Because it's time to give something away. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a live giveaway happening right now here on Collect All Monsters, broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks to all 66 people who are watching this live. You guys are awesome. If you guys are interested, we're going to be giving away this NECA 1962 Godzilla.
Perfect.
Which really, like, the NECA line really improved over time, and this is one of the better ones, I think. The way you can enter to win this is by keeping your ears open, because David, I think, is about to ask a trivia question, and literally the first person who responds with the correct answer in the chat room, the live chat, it could happen on both Facebook and YouTube. The first person to respond will highlight that correctly, and we'll highlight that, and you will be the winner. We'll contact you afterwards. We'll get your information and send you this beautiful prize.
Gojira.
Yes.
Hi, Gojira.
So I know there's a slight delay, so I'm just making sure. Yes, drum roll, please. Enzyme 2000 says. You guys ready for this? David, if you're ready to answer, I'm ready to watch.
I'm ready.
All
So
right.
it pays to stick around, collect all monsters, and watch us all the way to the end. So just keep that in mind for the future. So the question is, what is the name of Mr. Taco's mascot from Pacific Pharmaceuticals, from the Pacific Pharmaceutical Company? We'll accept two. There's two possible names. That's correct. And there he is. What is the name of that mascot character?
You know, I think it was a long time before I even recognized that this was something in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to have eagle eyes, and the widescreen version really helps because you can't see it in some of the pan scan shots in the American version. So, Robert's got it.
Robert Dwyer is definitely the guy who got it. Passing Boy, or
Travelman Boy.
Travelman Boy.
So,
Travelman Boy, because that is actually a real mascot in Japan for a real travel medication. Like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Congratulations, Robert.
Yeah,
well done, sir.
Leave it to the Kaiju Jeopardy champion from Fest to come up with that answer, of course. He spelled it wrong, but that's okay.
Oh, man, Robert, you are so lucky I'm not sending that because I know you're a Kong hater. You're lucky that I'm not in that box. Put that out there.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, man. Seriously.
Yeah, very good.
Wow, that was awesome. I thought for sure we were going to be sitting there spitballing for the longest time, waiting for somebody to get that answer. But thankfully, yeah, Robert Dwyer was watching. All right, so I'd say, before we get going, I want to say thanks again to everybody watching live in the chat. Did Ryan Mitchell
wait,
get
did Ryan
it
get it first?
No, he didn't. Oh, weird. I was watching that. How did that happen?
I was watching it too.
You know what? There we go.
Ooh,
that's weird.
Oh.
Well, Robert, I tell you what, Robert will send you a consolation prize anyway, but yes, technically speaking,
Ryan got it first.
Yeah, I did.
this is Robert's, right? And then 1, 2, 3, still right, just seconds before.
Sorry,
That's
Ryan.
what, yeah.
We absolutely, both of us were looking at the screen, and it's Robert's seemed to pop up first on our end. So, Roman Nasai. Sorry.
Wait a second. Hang on a second. Was that actually? Did Ryan answer? Or did he just write it beforehand? Anyway.
Oh.
Either way, there's a little bit of a Ryan's like, I'll give it to Robert. So. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll reach out to you guys. No, actually, you know what that probably means? It's deathmatch time.
Do we have a backup question?
Over the next 2 minutes, when we're off screen, Ryan and Robert will battle to the death. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to go into our extended Show Yourselves segment.
Yes.
No, that's the first thing.
Godzilla.
These are dangerous times. Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why.
There's something provoking him that we're not seeing here.
I'm of the same opinion.
The myths are real. There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gonna stop for me.
Kong bows to no one.
Skill の皆さん、お元気ですか？令和は僕らが守ります。コミカル RPG ウルトラマンクラブ2。
Hey, welcome back to Collect All Monsters after that super tiny break. After we've been talking for quite a bit. I had a blast talking about King Kong versus Godzilla with you guys. Thank you so much for taking part of that. Thank you to everybody sticking around and watching. And let's talk a little bit about this next segment. Basically, what I thought we would do is take our subject matter for our monster showcase this episode, which is Show Your Shelves. If you can even do the hashtag Show Your Shelves. So we asked everybody to submit that, but before we get to the actual monster showcase, all of the co-hosts here put together some little videos showing off our own collections and showing off what we use to display those collections. And as such, I thought I would start. Who wants to go first?
Well, let's not all jump here.
All right.
First in line.
David's first in line. So
why not? Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Here's David's.
Well, hello there, Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors. David here, and I want to welcome you to my collection room. So the co-hosts and I are going to be doing something a little bit different for this episode. We're all going to be shooting these videos showcasing our collection rooms. Hashtag show your shelves. We will be showing our shelves and talking a little bit about the shelves, and more importantly, what lives on our shelves. But before I show you that, I'm going to answer the 3 questions that we are all going to answer about items in our collection. So let's start with number 1, which is, what is the biggest figure in our collections? And it's definitely this guy right here. Of course, I'm talking about the awesome, gigantic Shin Godzilla. Love the pose, love the stylized sculpt, love the detail. He's massive, and he came in the most massive shipping box that I have ever seen in my entire life. And if I'm being honest, I believe that he had the highest price tag that I've paid for any figure in my collection to date. So awesome figure, stoked to have him. Question number 2 is, show something from your collection that you have a special connection to, that you just really love, and that you don't necessarily show off all the time. So I've narrowed it down to 2, which was really hard because I've got a special connection to quite a few of these pieces. So let's start with this one. This is the mascot / manager from the Osaka branch of Kaiju Sakaba, which is where I spent my 50th birthday with my dear friends, my husband, and Mr. G. Akamoto, which was the very first time that I had the pleasure of meeting him. So it's based on the Marathon Bullmark original figure. This is reproduced by M1 exclusively for Kaiju Sakaba, and he's got the cool little apron on. Great figure, love that I have him, and it reminds me of that really magical evening. And yeah, so, and the second item that I'm going to show you that I have a special connection to is this guy. This is the brown Billiken tin wind-up Showa Godzilla. I think it's a 64, if I'm not mistaken, because there was a blue one that came with a Mothra attached to his tail. But anyway, my husband Keith got me for this on the very first birthday that we were, my very first birthday that we were together. And I just love the fact that he went out and tried to find something that he knew I was passionate about. I don't think he knew quite how passionate I was at that time in 1992, but it was kind of the beginning of my collecting journey. And I just love that he got this for me. Great figure, really holds a special place. And I don't show him off very often, so thanks Keith, love him, holds a special place in my collection. And the third and final question is, show something in your collection that's sort of a hidden gem, maybe a little bit quirky or interesting that maybe not everyone in the fandom would understand. So I've definitely got something to show you guys. It's these 3 little guys. They are sushi monsters called Sushira, made by a company called Yamo Mark that make these great quirky little whimsical Japanese characters. And I just love them because, I mean, they're sushi, which I love, they're whimsical figures, which I love, and they're monsters, which I love. So they're definitely hidden gems because they don't even live down here. They live upstairs in the kitchen because they're just so damn cool. So Sushira by Yamo Mark. And that brings us to the end of our questions. So I'm going to take a quick pause, reconfigure things, and give you a quick tour of the collection room and talk a little bit about the shelves. Stay tuned. Okay, on to the tour of the collection room. So you're looking at the shelves that I have the most of in this room. They're from the Container Store, and sadly, they stopped making this particular brand of shelf about 10 years ago. So I apologize for showing you something that you can no longer get. I actually even tried to look up the name of the discontinued shelves, but I was unsuccessful. But they're great. They're easy to assemble. They're very wide, so they accommodate long tails really well. Next, I'm showing you this guy, the Detolf shelf from IKEA. It's a glass shelf. Very inexpensive and very cool. You can add lights if you like to do that. I don't have too much from IKEA. I also have this shelf here, which is actually a little CD cabinet that I use to house my little gashapons and some treasures from Japan. These little brown faux wooden shelves are also from the Container Store. I think you can still get these, and they're collapsible shelves, and I just find that they're really helpful and great for showcasing smaller figures, and they fit into smaller spaces. So let's do a quick tour of the room. I'm going to make you dizzy now. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So just quickly going to go through and show you the collection room. It's actually a really small room, but I like it because it limits me from going absolutely crazy. And you can see, I'll just kind of scan up and down so you guys can get an idea of what I have. And then here's this is kind of cool. This is some artwork, lobby cards, and there's a vintage Monster Zero foreign poster and some Bob Eggleton artwork. And let's finish off by showing you the Shin Godzilla and where he lives and how big he is in relation to the collection. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Cheers, everyone.
Ryan Mitchell is wondering what size that room is, David.
It's pretty small. I don't know the exact dimensions of it, but this is where we're shooting the episode from too. It's pretty small. It's maybe like
you can fit like 4 people in there.
Yeah. We did a photo shoot when we had some visitors, and there was it was big guys. It was definitely crowded in here, and it's pretty small. And but as I mentioned in the video, it's perfect because I don't want to go crazy, and if I had a bigger space, I would fill it up. I know Kyle is in touch with that emotion because he's got a much bigger space. But let me just talk real quick. In the video, I mentioned Kaiju Sakaba, but I didn't tell you what it is. For those who don't know, it's a Ultraman monster themed sort of izakaya pub in Japan that's really awesome. So, and there's still a couple. The one in Osaka has closed, but it's still around in Tokyo, and there's a few branches in Tokyo that you guys can visit. So I forgot to mention that. And that's about it. Sorry, it was a little boring. I watched. I'm like,
That wasn't boring, dude. What are you talking about?
I should have been a little more dynamic or thrown a joke in there or something. But I did say Keith got me for. I don't know where that came from. I was like, what? I mean, I guess I didn't edit that video too well. Keith got me for this. It's like, okay, that's not the way to say things. But
I mess up all the time on my videos, David. Don't worry.
English not important. Me no.
Yeah. But thank you so much for watching, and I've got this is my collection. This is it. So I guess Leslie's might be going next, maybe.
Yeah, we'll just do that. Leslie, you're coming up next here. Let me share your video.
What's going on, Collect All Monsters, Monsters Collectors? Yes. You know what this is? It's your boy, Leslie P. Chambers, on behalf of Collect All Monsters. Pretty much, I am the problem child of Collect All Monsters. Nah, but seriously, I'm a good guy.
Troublemaker.
Every now and then. Nah, but seriously, in response to our most recent hashtag, Show Your Shelves, myself and my fellow co-hosts on the show are going to give you a little mini tour of our respective collection rooms. And we came up with 3 questions that we're going to answer in response or in regards to the hashtag Show Your Shelves. So without further ado, let's dive here first into the first question. And the first question is, in my collection, what is the biggest piece in my collection? And you know me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all about the big size figures, the gigantic series, Prime One Studios, whatever. I am into the big stuff. I'm into the bigger size figures. To me, the bigger, the better. And ironically, you would think by me being a huge Godzilla fan that I would have the biggest piece of my collection be a figure of Godzilla himself, but actually it's not. Actually, it's his sister. Yes, the Rose Form Biollante. I had her constructed and built by awesome Kaiju sculptor extraordinaire, Mark Sang Yang. She clocks in at 28 inches high, and she is by far the biggest figure I have in my collection. In the sea of giant size figures in my room, where I have the gigantic 89, the gigantic 2019, the gigantic Shin, and all those figures are big, bulky, and massive. But Rose Biollante beats them just by a few inches, and she is currently the biggest figure in my collection. I say currently because in a few months, I think she's going to be toppled by another giant, but more on that later. And the second question is, what is the one piece in my figure collection that I resonate with the most, or I have the deepest connection with the most? And of course, this is going to be no surprise to any of y'all that know me very well. That's the M1 50 centimeter rubber kit of the 1964 Godzilla. I think I've shown it a few times on Collect All Monsters, and to me, that is the best representation of the 64 Godzilla that you will ever find in Kaiju collectible form. Now, the kit was made in vinyl form, hard vinyl form, and it was made in rubber. I have the rubber version. So the figure and the way it was painted and all that good stuff, the figure actually transcends from being just a Kaiju collectible to an actual prop that could have been used on a movie, because it looks exactly like Godzilla from that film. My most favorite film, Mother vs. Godzilla. So without a shadow of a doubt, even though I love every single piece that I've acquired in my collecting journey, but the one I resonate with the most and have the deepest connection with is the 50 centimeter M1 1964 Godzilla. And the third question is, what is a hidden gem in your collection that a lot of people may not be able to understand or get? And of course, you know me, I love King Kong. You know, I'm a huge King Kong fan. But one film in particular is not universally praised by a lot of folks, and that's the 1976 version of King Kong. And once again, Mark Sang Yang, you heard his name earlier with Rose Biollante. I'm going to bring him up again because he made me a giant-sized diorama of the 1976 King Kong, and he did an awesome job.
That was great.
And like I said, it's a hidden gem because once again, that film is not universally praised by a lot of people, especially King Kong purists. But to me, I love that film. I love the dark interpretation of the story. I love the actual Kong design. It's one of my most favorite Kong designs. His roar is awesome. So hopefully I can convince y'all with this little mini commentary to go back and watch the film. You know, of course, I acknowledge and enjoy the original King Kong, but I do believe that the King Kong 76 movie is very underrated and deserves a rewatch. So please check it out. And that's it with the questions that we formulated with this video here. Now, before I get up out of here, let me give you a few quick shots of my collection room that I have affectionately called the Monster Island Man Cave. And I've been collecting hard with figures for the past, I say, 8 years. I started really hard in 2013. Mostly X+, but I have dabbled in model kits. Like I said, Mark Sang Yang Customs. I have a Marmot around here somewhere. But I more so go for the more realistic figures, you know what I mean? The more real life stuff, you know, highly detailed, superbly detailed. And I am extremely proud for what I have accomplished, for what I was able to attain, especially coming in late in the game, you know. And I cannot be even more proud to be a Kaiju collector. And as you can see here, all these figures that you see is from hard work, because you know I'm a truck driver, right? So all this stuff that I've accumulated is all the miles and the loads and just the many hours I have clocked in to not only give myself a great life and to my wife and family, but also to accumulate these awesome treasures that you see before you. So that's pretty much it with the show your shelves. And that's the thing, when it comes to my collection room, I actually try to put my pieces together in regards to like film setups, whether it's the 1993 film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, or if it's Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, or if it's GMK, or if not, I try to associate like, you know, one particular monster. If I have like multiple versions of the same monster, I try to incorporate them into one setup, whether it's Shin Godzilla or the Heisei Gamma or whatever. So I try to be really precise and put my figures in a certain order. I don't like put my figures in like a miscellaneous type of way or a random way. I try to have some type of structure with my collection, and I think I've done a superbly good job, if I may say so myself. So that's pretty much it with the Show Your Shelves. I hope you had a good time with this little mini tour of the Monster Island Man Cave, courtesy of Let's Be Chambers and courtesy of Collect All Monsters. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see y'all again on the next episode, awesome episode of Collect All Monsters.
Sorry, I cut you off at the end there, man. But yeah, there you go. Awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Leslie, I was curious. Do you seem to have a bunch of different kinds? Are there any of your shelves that you are like, oh yeah, if I found this one again, I would buy another one of these specifically for kaiju displays?
Basically, because I have not gotten my shelves from one particular like maker. I dabbled in Target or Walmart, just stuff that you can build yourself basically. But actually, I recommend the ones I just got. I'm gonna move out the way so you can see them. But these are Blue Hawk shelves that you can get from Lowe's, and they're like, this one in particular was like maybe $59. And they're easy to assemble. You can assemble them in 10 minutes just like that. And each shelf can hold up at least up to 200 pounds of weight. And since that one is heavy, King Ghidorah up there, and he's delicate, whatever. You can put as much weight on the shelf and not come crashing down. I know if you remember seeing my last shelf, if you look real closely, like these two gigantos was like really causing
making it sag.
Top shelf to give way, and I was afraid that I was going to be on Collect All Monsters and they all come crashing down on top of me. This is why I got these two shelves here. But I highly recommend it. Blue Hawk from Lowe's, $59. You can't go wrong.
Nice.
Right on. Just gonna throw this out there, Leslie, just so you know, a whole bunch of 76 love was getting thrown down in the chat.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, 76 is awesome.
I love the 76 Kong. I think it's
Same
great.
here, man.
Yeah.
You know what? That actually, but I mean, all joking aside, I know I am about Kong, and I don't mean it to really like rub salt in the wound, whatever. I just try to have a little bit of friendly competition because of what's going on with the new film. But that really does my heart joy, seeing that love for that particular film. Because that particular film gets automatically dismissed because Kong is not fighting dinosaurs, or doesn't take a more fantasy approach to the story, that they automatically just dismiss it, saying, you know what, it's trash, it's garbage. In fact, some people kind of like the sequel, King Kong Lives, where he knocks up a female ape, but we ain't talking about that right now.
That's right.
About that.
We're not going to talk about King Kong Lives right now.
Yeah.
but like I said in the video, I think 76 is very underrated. It really is. And that film, in my opinion, does something that the original film doesn't really do that well. It focuses on the relationship between Kong and the girl. You get a sense that, Kong cares for the girl, but at the very end when Kong gets slayed and massacred, you get the sense that the girl cares for Kong too. Like in the original version, when Kong dies, I don't think what's her name? Anne, I don't think she even cared. I don't think she even cared, but you see the girl in 76 crying and in a way, King Kong is kind of like Godzilla. I mean, they're victims of being in a civilized situation. And, I mean, even though there's a natural rivalry between Kong fans and Godzilla fans, or Kong and Godzilla in general, they do have a little bit in common, that they're both tragic characters. But yeah, I'm glad that y'all are coming aboard on the 76 train. Thank y'all.
When you say that girl, you mean Jessica Lange, my friend.
Yeah.
That was her very, very first movie. And I'm on the other team, but I was digging Jessica Lange, so you got to say something. That says something right there. It's a great movie, and I think that it's basically American tokusatsu. I mean, Rick Baker in a monster suit for 98%, and that 2%, they use that horrific Carlo Romaldi animatronic thing. It's just horrific, and he just kind of does this and kind of, it's falling apart as it's moving. That's why it was only in like two tiny scenes. But I love the 76 Kong is great. It's really, really cool.
I love it too.
Yeah, so thank you for the 76 love. Somebody mentioned in the chat, and I forgot to mention this on the last Collect All Monsters. I don't think it was announced then, but they are coming out with a proper Blu-ray release of the 76 movie. I want to say in April, and I think if you pre-order it, they give you like this big, nice, giant size poster of the movie. Not the movie poster where he's on top of the World Trade Centers, but an actual like mock-up of the movie. Actually, I think it's the the cover on the Blu-ray, we have a picture of Kong's face, the girl on the altar. It's really nice. So if you haven't seen the 76, or if you want to rewatch it, or at least get more access to it, you'll have your chance, I think, come next month. So
right on. All right, John Ruffin, you're next up on my list here.
Next up. Cool. Well, my room is a small room, and it's virtually an IKEA display. When I finished school, my room was full of books, and then I flipped it over to a Godzilla collection room, and I started with painting the room and having these IKEA lac floating wall shelves installed. I have 12 of them. They go for $20 each, and I love them. I mean, they can support the weight of the figures. They look like they're floating, and also I light them up with some IKEA lights as well. Well, then I also have the IKEA COLLECT shelves. You can stack them up vertically or horizontally. And here's more of the other lac shelves, floating shelves that I have. Now, the biggest item in my collection is the Kyoto Shin Godzilla. It rivals the gigantic X Plus Shin Godzilla. And then I have this Dito glass door cabinet. And on the other side of the room, I had these IKEA Billy Oxford book cases with glass doors. I love those. I don't show all my books here. I don't want to give them all away. And then on the other side of my room where I'm sitting now, I have a older IKEA TV cart and follow with some smaller carts and a carpet too from IKEA. Now, the strongest thing in my collection is this actually paper item that was given to me from one of the workers at my favorite Japanese collectible shop that was here in Philly back in 1984 called Rocket Ship Accessories. And they had a 30th anniversary for Godzilla birthday party, and that was the start of my Japanese Godzilla collection and what started all that I have around me many, many years ago, back in 84. Now, the thing that's in my collection that's really dear to me, that's well, you lose it, you wouldn't run right over it, is this copy or replica of the book about the Sacred Guardian monsters in GMK.
Yes.
That's one of the little gems.
That's awesome.
The strength of my collection is really in my books and my paper products, and I love my X Plus figures and the model kits that I have, and other things that I have, kits that I've never built. But the books, that's where my heart is, and the paper material, which doesn't get to be displayed, but it's stored away. Simple, but the IKEA made everything. They will outfit your collectible room, and for a good cost as well. Pretty cheap.
True.
And you can turn it over as well. From year to year.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, Christine.
I guess that means we're up to Christine.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a big fan of IKEA also.
Hey, Christine. I can never find that girl. But usually when I do...
Perfect.
She's right in here.
Hey guys! Welcome to my collection room. Just playing with my toys here. So, welcome to Christine's Kaiju Cave. This episode we will be talking about our collection rooms and show your shelves. So let's get to it. All of these shelves that I actually own are from IKEA, so I'm just keeping it simple and easy here. The reason why I like the IKEA shelves is because they look great, they have a lot of space for displaying, and they're cheap, and I love cheap things, just not cheap toys. So let me give you a little tour here. So this is my X Plus section. So these are the Visto shelves. The reason I mainly use these for displaying my X Plus is because they have a nice, clean look to them, and you can fit about 4 or 5 X Plus figures on each shelf. And it gives them each a little space. You can kind of appreciate all of that. And these are about, I want to say, $70 to $80. Pretty easy to put together. I mean, you can't really go wrong with these. They're cheap and they look great. My favorite shelf that I have in my collection is, again, my IKEA. And this is the DefoReal shelf. So the best thing about this shelf is it's all enclosed. So you don't have to dust, which is great. Because as you know, when you have a collection, you have a lot of dusting that you have to do. So this I call my Hall of Fame shelf right here. It has all my toy grabs that I hunted down over the years and a lot of my favorite pieces. And onto my last shelf that I have in my collection for right now is the Kallax shelf. The great thing about this shelving unit is it's like very versatile. So you can get anywhere from like 8 to 12 to 16 boxes. This unit I think has 12, 16, 8, I don't know, I can't count. But it's pretty cheap. I think this one is like $60. No, this one was $120. But the 8 box is about $60. So you can fit a lot of figures in each of these boxes here. Sometimes I like to make little scenes, so I have my SH Monster, it's little scenes all set up around here, and then I just have some random Safubi around the area. And this one is actually really, really super easy to put together. The other 2 shelves I had, my boyfriend helped me put together, but this one I was able to do it myself. It has a lot of great display on the top, and another great thing about this is if you get the shorter version, the 8 box, you can lay it on its side lengthwise, which is what my plan is later on, because I want to put one over there. So on to the questions. So first question we had was, what is the biggest figure in your collection? It was a pretty close tie between 2, but the winner has got to go to this guy right here. This is the Toy Vault Supersized Godzilla. He came out in 2007. He's very floppy. He is my movie watching buddy. So whenever I watch Godzilla movies, I usually have him on the couch with me. He's 20 inches tall and about 30 inches long, so he is huge. The contender for number 2 was my favorite figure in my collection, the X Plus Gigantic 1989 Godzilla by Goji. My favorite suit, favorite movie. Love this thing. He's just a tad bit shorter than my supersized plush here. Second question is, what is a item in your collection that you have a strong connection to? So that one has got to go to this guy right here, the 30 centimeter X Plus 1954 Godzilla. So this I had signed by Nakajima and Takarada. It was the first time I was able to meet them. It was Anime Boston 2014. I went with a whole bunch of my friends. It was amazing. And so Nakajima signed the bottom here. And then Takarada did something really cool. On the chest here, this symbol says Taka, which means treasure. And Taka is also part of his name, Takarada. So I thought that was really cool. So this has a lot of great memories for me with my friends. And I still remember the feeling of seeing Nakajima and Takarada for the first time. It was amazing. And the last question we had is, what is a hidden gem in your collection? So that one was really hard because I have a lot of like hidden gems. I think I like to find a lot of random stuff, but it's got to go to this guy right here, the Bandai Godzilla drink pourer. So this was made in 2002 by Bandai. And say you're thirsty, you want a little drink? Normally you would have like a soda can or something in here, and the stuff would come out of Godzilla's mouth, which I think is so cool, but how cute is that?
That's adorable.
I love it. So I hope you enjoyed this edition. Thanks for watching, guys.
Nice.
All right. Great job, Christine.
I got a question. You have your 89 gigantic and your 95 on the floor?
Yeah. I know. I just thought I was going to say something about that. I'm going to get in that other Kallax shelf I was telling you about. I'm going to put it next to the wall over here, and all my gigantics are going to go on the top. I got no room for these guys. They're huge.
I mean, Christine, that totally works. The only place they can fit is because that back there, that is a Kallax.
Really?
2x4 back there. So yeah,
that's
it works for the gigantics for sure.
I mean, but that's like putting a screen door on a submarine. It just doesn't seem right.
Okay, whatever. They don't have a space yet.
You're feisty today. Feisty.
Oh man.
I do need to get a table from Cody. I do want Cody that makes those beautiful wooden display tables. I do want to get something from him to display, maybe for my reviews, once I start doing reviews again, because I've been slacking like terrible.
Excellent.
All right. I guess I'm up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we check it out.
I would like to just tell the viewers out there how much I appreciate them, because this collection is a bitch to dust. And I cleaned and dusted this collection for you. That's how much I love you guys. Also, I mean, it's totally an incentive for me to be able to show off my collection instead of just telling people I don't want to film in here. So let's go ahead and check that out. I'm psyched for you guys to see it. Oh my gosh! Welcome to the Kaiju Cast collection. It's been a long time since I've done a video showing off what I've got here, and I can't wait. I'm stoked to have you guys come in. All right, so the whole thing about this episode is shelving units. So obviously, welcome. You'll see we've got Calyx and Detolf shelf units here. This is all basically collection by IKEA, or IKEA if you're in Japan. Yeah, I basically got some of the biggest units to house all of the collectibles here in the entire room. The great thing about the Calyx shelves is that they are very configurable. You can get big ones, small ones, and they all look really good right next to each other. The other thing I'll show you guys is recently I upgraded my glow shelf. Here it is here.
That's excellent.
Awesome.
Turn the light off there for a little bit of magic.
Nice.
But this shelf used to be a Calyx, but it was only this long, this wide. They don't make a 3x2, so I found something very similar at Target. So I used that for my glow shelves. I got another little Calyx unit over here. And then, of course, back behind me, that's where we watch the movies. One of the best parts about this room.
Awesome.
It's where the magic happens.
Now let's get to those questions. So, answering some of the questions we had. Number one is, what is the biggest item in your collection? And that has to be this guy here. The Bandai, oh my gosh, I want to say Large Monster Series. Somebody will correct me in the comments. But this guy came out in 1989, and this is the second version of it that I've had. I sold one, finally got it back. This is my biggest guy, but yeah, really, I can only put the big guys here on this shelving unit here. And then the second question was, what is an item that has a strong connection, that you have a strong connection to? And that is a two-parter. Number one of my travel group guys, Scott, bought me this little Busca. And we all know Busca loves ramen. Ramen brought to you by David and Keith.
Yay!
They got this for me in Kapabashi, the street where people make all the fake food in Japan, as a thank you for organizing our last trip. The third question, which basically hidden gems. There's all sorts of hidden gems in this collection. I could say, look at this kappa from Josenkai, where he's got like a little onsen bath around him.
It's cute.
But that's not the one that
literally a hidden gem hidden in my shelving connection.
That's right.
This is an actual can from Japan. If you're familiar with the Godzilla series, you may have seen the Byerly's logo.
That was in
throughout
Godzilla
the
vs.
Showa
Kong,
era.
wasn't it?
And I was super happy to find this in a vending machine and be able to get a can and drink it. It's good. And bring it back with me. I mean, a lot of hidden gems in this collection, but here's the cubby that I would say probably is the best hidden gem. And this is all of my yokai stuff. There's a couple of other pieces around here that are not in this cubby, but I've got everything from candy Boltons, little guys here, to an actual Metsuki carved from mammoth bone, to a Tanuki figure, the little Yokai Daisenso guys. This is a really old Nito figure. There's a lot of fun stuff here in my yokai collection. Those are my hidden gems. And Roxy wants to eat this, and she can't. Well, there you have it, guys. The collection room, at least for right now. I'll show you more later. But if you don't mind, I'm going to get back to the important movie watching before Godzilla vs. Kong at the end of this month. That would be King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
That was great.
So,
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Byerly's is in many of the Showa Touhou movies. Mothra, first and foremost, because he knocks over a Byerly's sign, the larva, King Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus Mothra versus Godzilla. He's eating the egg in a big Byerly's kind of like booth kind of thing. So Byerly's is the beverage of Showa Touhou movies.
That's right.
Yeah, product placement.
Having that can is pretty. I should have bought one too. Keith and I saw a Byerly's vending machine on the old Nakasendo Road Trail.
Oh, did they have the bottles or cans? Because the bottle is what I wanted to take. Oh.
They had the cans, but I tried. The machine was broken. I don't think anybody used it since the '60s. But it was cool. But yes, Byerly's that whole can thing. I don't believe I didn't pick one up all the times I've been there. So anyway, very cool.
Same here.
Well, when I finally upgrade to a glass bottle, I'll just send you my can.
Excellent.
Someone Liam Foley asked how big is that screen, and I can tell you that screen is 6 feet tall and 10 feet wide. And when I'm sitting in the easy chairs, which I was sitting in at the very end, it is like I'm in a movie theater. I mean, the screen pretty much goes, like, my field of vision is wider than the screen, but it's big. And, like, I could always scoop my chairs forward if I really wanted to fill my entire vision. But that is why I'm actually stoked to have access to HBO Max and be able to watch King Kong versus Godzilla at the end of this month. So, from the comfort of my own HQ.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you guys all for helping out with that segment. I really, really loved seeing what you guys have for your shelves. David, I already knew, of course, what you had, but like everybody else, for sure. Like, it really, really cool to see what you had. I will say there certainly was a lot of IKEA in there, wasn't there? And I think the reason for that is that IKEA just does a fantastic job of display cabinets, and honestly,
affordable.
I will say that even as far back like before I was even a collector, IKEA shelving units. My boss at one of my jobs had a Detolf, and I was like, dude, that's amazing. Must have been like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? Nope, $60. $60, and so. When I moved into this house and I was like, yes, time for me to get some display units, I went to IKEA and I dropped a whole lot of money. Because I mean, this is only one room in my house. There's a lot of rooms brought to you by IKEA in this house. In addition to the Detolf, I just will really quickly also share the Kallax or Kallax that John and Christine and I have. They have many units. This is, I think, their largest one, which looks like 5x5. The benefit of this unit, which you could probably tell from our videos, is that these cubby units can actually fit either a bunch of small stuff or like usually one larger figure, and so having them spaced out in a room nicely, I think, looks amazing. And I didn't even think people made cubby like shelves when I was growing up. You know, cubbies were only for kindergarten.
Right. Exactly. They would have been.
Anyway, highly suggested for that stuff. I know I've seen a ton of amazing shelving units being produced from other companies as well. And then even when you get into like some of the X Plus collectors in the X Plus group, some people that have the skills to make their own shelving units. Some of that stuff is amazing.
Yeah. Kyle.
Go ahead.
What's up,
I
man?
was just going to, piece of trivia. Do you know where the first IKEA in America showed up? When the first
I don't know. Or was it Philly?
Can I guess? Philadelphia.
Well, right outside of Philadelphia, Plymouth Meeting.
Yep.
Nice.
I think I knew that because I was still on the East Coast at that point.
Yeah.
This whole segment really inspired me because I'm looking now and I'm like, wait a minute, I can probably fit one more Detolf shelf in here. So that would be a good thing. Because the problem that I'm having for my collection is I don't think it's displayed well enough so you can see, because I have like layers of things going on. So it's really hard to focus on.
Your collection is dense.
Yeah,
it's dense.
But it looks so nice. You have it displayed so nicely.
It's rich and it's dense, but some of the stuff back there is not getting any love right now. So I gotta do like a switcheroo every now and again. But that's why you guys, all of you, Leslie's just kind of like mine, kind of dense. We have a lot of stuff on the shelves, but and John too. But the two of you guys have.
I'm out of control.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way that you can see and focus on individual pieces is really appealing to me at this point. So, I don't know.
And no gigantics on the floor either. So,
whatever.
Terrible.
Hey, listen, I just moved,
I've got a
right?
gigantic
I
on the
have
floor. I've got my gigantic shin. He's on a table, but he's on the floor because he's not going to fit up there, man. He ain't going to fit up there.
Yeah, where am I supposed to put this guy? I have no room.
in the garbage.
And I just moved,
My
so.
dream,
On your new Calex shelf that you're gonna get.
Too. Yeah, I know,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
See, I'm getting one.
Leslie. Full of sass, Leslie.
It was a
I'm not going to steal your rose by latte.
it was a great segment, and I enjoyed. We didn't really share our videos beforehand. Well, I didn't see anybody's. Did see Kyle's, but I didn't see the other guys. So bravo, everyone! Really great stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
and I would love, to be honest with you, I really want my little collector room to look like a Japanese toy shop.
Oh,
I would love it to just be overflowing.
Lola's
I mean, it'd be a fire hazard, but like where everywhere you just put your hand somewhere and you come out with something special.
John, are you going to stand outside the door of your collection and say, "I'm sorry, you're going to need to take your bag off, sir. You're not going to fit in this room."
Exactly. I in those little Kallax, whatever you call them, shelves, I have little drawers, made of fabric, and it's just stuff just jammed all in. I mean, that you can't display, but just, I like to be surprised when I look through my stuff. Oh, I forgot all about this, know?
Yes. And here's something funny. Now, since I only had one item to show for my show it and tell, I got this is kind of funny. While I was dusting, just like Kyle, I love you guys too. I did a lot of dusting, and I even cleaned out the closet. That's the next segment. Show your closet, because my closet is full. Oh, but anyway, I found this, which I had not had in years. This is a cast.
Oh, so cool.
Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Ibira.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
I forgot that I even had this, and his claw was off, but it came off, and I just had to put it right back on. But
that's so cool.
So it's kind of like getting a new figure in preparing for these videos. So I'm going to add this to just so I don't have this one thing. So there you go. Show it and tell here too.
Show it and tell. Continued.
Yeah, very showa.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the show your shelves segment isn't complete until we actually show all of the stuff that our wonderful watchers, our audience, viewership actually sent in, and that was our hashtag for this month, show your shelves. And so without further ado, let's roll that beautiful shelf footage. you guys.
That was awesome.
Thank you guys all so much. Seriously, our audience, you guys are the best. And
great
David,
photos.
I think you said this was probably our most successful hashtag so far, right?
Oh my God. So successful. And thank you all for so many awesome photos. Kyle and I had to cut it down. We had to curate because some of you guys were sending like 7 or 8 photos and they're all great. So it was really hard. It took me days to figure out which ones to show on the show because we narrowed it down to doing at the most 3 per person. And man, you guys really outdid yourselves. I've never seen anything like it. And thank you. We loved seeing it. They're all inspirational, and it doesn't matter how big or how small your collection is. They're all awesome. And,
great displays.
Great displays. I'm glad we all came up with that hashtag. And again, it was awesome. And we are going to pick our favorite, not the biggest, not the flashiest, but we're going to pick the collection photo that we all respond to. And you are going to get a Collect All Monsters mascot mug, which is in this box. I'm not going to open it up because it's packed nicely. And I may open it up and stick a little something extra in there. But for now, I'm not going to open it up. So we will be announcing the winner tomorrow morning when I get up on our Collect All Monsters Monster Collector Facebook group. So stay tuned for that. Check it out. And again, thank you so much for all of your hard work and inspiration for these amazing photos.
Now, if you're wondering if you saw what it was, if you're wondering what the deal is with our next hashtag, of course, at the end of this month, pretty much everybody's going to be watching Godzilla vs. Kong. At least once, I would assume. But we want to see your take on Godzilla versus Kong, but in toy form. And that means that our hashtag is Big Lizard versus Big Monkey. And what we want to see is, there you go. Yeah, we want to see any Kong versus any Godzilla.
There we go.
Have fun with it. Show us the 76 versus the 62, or the
This is more like it, Leslie.
21 versus the 62. There you go, Christine.
I mean, you can even do Gorosaurus versus, I don't know, Mighty Joe Young. I mean, anything.
Mando,
Big Lizard versus Big Monkey. So I think it'd be cool to see like the 76 Kong versus the 84 Godzilla. That would be kind of cool. You have to
mashups.
Play around with scale a little bit. Have fun with it. Be whimsical. Be cheeky, like Leslie Chambers. You know, and have a lot of fun with it because we'll all shoot some examples for you guys to see over the next week or so. But yeah, we thought that would be very appropriate in accordance with the film coming out in a couple of weeks and our chat today about the original 62. So. Have at it. Have fun with it. Have a creative, fun time putting something cool together. Show off your good stuff, man. That's what I would say.
I can't wait to see what you guys got for us.
And enjoy the movie, right? Like I think even though we are having fun with each other by taking sides and joking around, not all of us maybe are having fun. No, we're all having a blast. And we just all hope everybody has a fun time watching the film and a fun time talking about the film and a fun time collecting the items from this film.
Oh, yes.
So
that's right.
I don't think there's anything else we really need to do. I want to thank everybody once again for watching live. We're down to 55 people now watching live on YouTube and Facebook. You guys have been awesome. There have been a ton of people in the chat room. You guys have kept the chat room alive, been paying attention to us, which is awesome, and been talking about Kaiju collectibles and the Kaiju fandom, and I just love it so much. We all love it so much, and I think this is time for us to finally wrap up episode 14. Everybody ready to do their outro bits?
Of course.
All right, take it away, David.
Hey, let's keep this collecting conversation going. So please join us in our Facebook group and connect with other Kaiju collectors. Yes, you too can be a Collect All Monsters monster collector. Leslie.
And thank you for watching the show today. And please hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe, but please hit that like button. if you enjoyed watching the show today. And also, Kong won, and he will win again. That's all I got to say about that.
That's not part of your speech.
Dream,
no embellishing. No embellishing. No.
Not loud. If you're not catching this episode live, let us know in the comments if you like what you saw or have any questions from today's episode.
And don't keep us a secret. If you like the show, please share us with your friends and family so we can all enjoy Collectible Monsters together.
All right. Dearest viewers, until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect our monsters! Have a great night, everybody.